Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Starship for All. Activate the Spear of Adon at the beginning. Chapter 1. In this parallel world, everyone has the opportunity to undergo the Ship Soul Awakening ceremony when they turn 18. The so-called Ship Soul Awakening ceremony is a ritual to create a magical starship that can be bound to the host soul. Unlike ordinary starships with ship souls have infinite possibilities for growth. Moreover, according to the level of the ship soul, the more powerful the ship soul, the stronger the bonus it will have on the ship. Two starships with the same configuration, even if one of them has the lowest level F-class ship soul, it is enough to crush the other starship. Therefore, for everyone in this world, a powerful ship soul is their greatest reliance for survival in the endless sea of stars. Today, the latest graduates of Blue Star Academy are heading to Blue Star Bahia port for the Ship Soul Awakening ceremony under official arrangements. At this moment, many graduates from Blue Star Academy gathered together on a planet train. I've been waiting for 18 years, and finally it's today. Who is not? Once the ship soul is awakened, it means that we have the official ticket to the endless star sea. I hope I can awaken a powerful ship soul this time. In this case, I might be able to become the lord of the entire planet in the outer realm. My requirements are not high. As long as I can awaken a C-class ship soul, then I can apply to join the Sun Federation's fleet. Looking at the people talking in the train, Chujong also looked out the window. A year has passed since he traveled to this world. Now, he has fully integrated into this world. In this world, the scope of human activities has already expanded to the entire endless sea of stars. The endless sea of stars represents endless opportunities, but also represents unknown risks. Only with the ship soul can they explore the unknown in this vast sea of stars. At this moment, an exclamation came from the train carriage. Hell, if I'm not mistaken, this should be the awakening token of the C-class ship soul Wild Hunt class cruiser. Hiss, I heard that even a D-class ship soul awakening token is worth millions of star coins on the market. Is that an exaggeration? 1 million star coins is enough to buy a cheaper starship. What do you know? If you use an awakening token to awaken a ship soul, you can greatly increase the chance of awakening a high-level ship soul. Even if you don't awaken the advanced ship soul, with this awakening token, you can at least get a Wild Hunt class cruiser with a C-class ship soul. Awakening token. After a starship with a ship soul is destroyed by the enemy, some of its fragments will be turned into awakening tokens. If you hold the awakening token to awaken the ship soul, you will still have a guaranteed ship soul even if you are not selected by the high-level ship soul. The C-class ship soul is already considered a good existence among many awakened ones. Things like awakening tokens generally have a price but no market. People who can buy awakening tokens basically have very different backgrounds. Oh, my dad spent a lot of money to get this for me. You know, the ship soul level is divided into 9 levels from high to low: SSS level, SS level, S level, A level, B level, C level, D level, E level, F level. The probability of awakening a C-class ship soul is only 1%. With this token, my probability is directly increased to 100%. However, with my qualifications I can definitely reach higher levels. This token is just an insurance policy. The yellow-haired man sitting opposite Chujong also proudly showed off the awakening token in his hand. The yellow-haired man is named Huang Fei, and his family is the famous interstellar energy company of Blue Star. It was precisely because of this that he was able to obtain such a rare awakening token. While Huang Fei was talking, he secretly cast his eyes on a cold and beautiful woman next to Chujong. The cool beauty sitting next to Chujong is Yun Qinghan, the famous school beauty of Blue Star Academy. Yun Qinghan's mother owns the largest interstellar spacecraft manufacturing company in Blue Star, and his father is a planet lord who is respected by the Sun Federation. A powerful background and a cool and stunning appearance. I don't know how many people regard her as the goddess of their dreams. At this time, Huang Fei also wanted to attract Yun Qinghan's attention. But Yun Qinghan's attention was not focused on him from beginning to end. Even the magazine in her hand was much more attractive than Huang Fei opposite. Seeing that his show-off did not attract the goddess's attention, Huang Fei also set his sights on Chujong. By the way, Chu Zushan, are you ready to awaken the token? As the only student in our Blue Star Academy who has received a full scholarship in the past years, you must be ready to awaken the token. After saying these words, Yun Qinghan, who was still reading a magazine, also turned his attention to Chu Zhong. After Chu Zhong heard Huang Fei's words, he also touched his chin. I should say it's almost ready. Almost ready. After we get off the bus, we will reach Beihei Starport. Is your awakening token still on the way? After that, Huang Fei stood up and patted Chu Zhong on the shoulder, with a mocking smile on his face. Don't worry, Zushin Chu, even if you don't prepare to awaken the token, there is no need to force it. After all, the price of an awakening token is definitely not something you can afford. Everyone can understand, and there's no need for you to lie, right? At this moment, Yun Qinghan, who had been silent at first, suddenly spoke. Huang Fei, you are very noisy. As soon as these words came out, everyone felt that the temperature of the entire car dropped by several degrees. Huang Fei originally wanted to say something, but after hearing these words, he immediately shut up, and then returned to his seat angrily. Others also gradually returned to the previous noisiness. Chu Zhong smiled and continued to look out the window. System, how far is the check in progress? Tip, signing into Blue Star, current progress, 99%. Host, please wait patiently. The longer it takes to sign in, the richer the rewards will be after successful sign-in. Chu Zhong has read this sentence countless times this year. A few days after he traveled through time, he awakened to this God-level sign-in system. As for this God-level sign-in system, Chu Zhong can sign in after arriving on a planet. It takes a certain amount of time to complete the sign-in. During this time, Chu Zhong cannot leave the planet. The longer you sign in, the more generous the sign-in rewards will be. And Chu Zhong has been signing at Blue Star for nearly a year. Chu Zhong was a little curious about how generous the reward for signing in for a year was. Dear students, we have arrived at our destination. Under the leadership of the team leader, everyone also arrived at the largest star port in Blue Star, Beihei Starport. For today's ship soul awakening ceremony, Beihei Starport also specially transferred all starships away from the starport. All this is done to make the following ship soul awakening ceremony go more smoothly. Soon, everyone also entered Beihei Starport. When they arrived at Beihei Starport, the first thing they saw were several majestic starships. Hiss, if I read it correctly, that ship should be the vehicle of Commander Neptune of the Sun Federation, an A-class infinite battleship. Since all the infinite battleships are here, doesn't it mean that Neptune Commander Zhang is also here? Woohoo! If I awaken the advanced ship soul this time, wouldn't I be able to directly apply to join the Sun Federation? The awakening ceremony hasn't even started yet, and you're already daydreaming. Chu Zhong, who was in the queue, looked around and found that in addition to the infinite battleship, there were several ships. The owners of these ships are even more prominent figures in the solar system. Finally, Chu Yang's eyes were fixed on the stands not far away, where several figures were looking towards them. Even Chu Zhong did not expect that so many important people would come to this ship soul awakening ceremony. In previous ship soul awakening ceremonies, although there were some planet lords from the Sun Federation, in order to get talents as soon as possible, they came to the starport to observe the awakening ceremony. But this time is different from usual. In addition to Lord Neptune, there are actually other planet lords from the Solar Federation. Although these planet lords are all Blue Star people, their territories are outside the solar system. If nothing else, there's basically very little going back to the solar system. In the stands, Neptune Commander Zhang looked at the young people who were gradually entering the awakening ceremony venue, and also showed a smile of relief. There are many more young people undergoing awakening ceremonies this year than in previous years. I just don't know how many of this group of young people can become the conquerors of the endless star sea. After saying that, Zhang also looked at the planet lord next to him. Lord Cloud, I heard that your daughter is also among these young people. The planet lord just nodded slightly, keeping his eyes firmly on Yun Qinghan. Seeing this, Zhang stopped talking. Everyone's eyes fell on those young people. The awakening ceremony is about to begin. Yu Zian, prepare to step forward to awaken the ship soul. Following the shouts of the person in charge of the awakening ceremony, a somewhat thin man also came to the platform of the awakening ceremony. The platform is extremely large, and it is more than enough to park a starship. When the young man named Uzian stood at the designated position according to the instructions, the person in charge of the awakening ceremony decisively pressed a button. The next second, several towers composed of energy crystals rose up one after another on the ground of the entire venue. These towers release powerful energy, which enters Uzian's body. Immediately afterwards, a scene that shocked everyone happened. I saw a crack appearing in the sky due to the interference of the energy position. A powerful force burst out from the crack. Under the guidance of this powerful force, the shadow of a starship broke through the crack and descended directly into the world. It's not over yet. After the phantom of the starship appeared, the steel materials that had been prepared in the venue were like foam and turned into dots of starlight. These starlights merged into the phantom of the starship. Under the injection of starlight, the originally illusory starship gradually became extremely staring. Boom! Finally, with a muffled sound, a starship containing the soul of the ship also appeared in Beihei Starport. Uzian, D-Class Rift Class Destroyer. The person in charge of the awakening ceremony read out the results expressionlessly. They had seen this happen many times. But these graduates have never watched the ship soul awakening ceremony so closely. They never expected that the ship soul can actually construct its own body by swallowing steel materials. This is too magical. Tisk, I thought such a big movement was something rare. It turned out to be a D-Class destroyer. Huang Fei said with some disdain. Later, Huang Fei also glanced at Yun Qinghan, and then said proudly, "When I awaken the ship soul, the noise will definitely be no less than this." As he said this, another person began to wake up. This time, the vision of his awakening was completely different from the previous one. The ship soul suddenly appeared in the sky, and the surrounding steel materials were also absorbed by it. However, the amount absorbed was far less than what Uzian had last time. F-Class Ghost Class Destroyer. Watching one after another complete the ship soul awakening, Chuzhong also touched his chin and began to analyze. Judging from the awakening status of these people, the more powerful the ship soul is, the bigger the phenomenon will be when it appears. And the number of materials consumed can also tell the level of its ship soul. Ding, congratulations, Blue Star signed in successfully. At this moment, the system's voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Chuzhong was shocked, and then extremely pleasantly surprised. Finally, the sign-in was successful, and he wanted to see what the system's sign-in reward was. Ding, congratulations on successfully obtaining the S-Class ship's awakening token, the Tildaran crystal. Ding, congratulations on successfully obtaining the coordinates of Holy Terra. Ding, congratulations on successfully obtaining 1,000 pilot warriors and 1,000 Titan mechas. Hiss. 3 rewards in a row made Chuzhong understand a sentence. Products produced by the system must be high-quality products. S-level awakening token, Tildaran crystal. In other words, if he awakens the ship soul next, the ship he awakens will be at least S-Class. S-Class ships, let alone the entire solar system. Looking at the entire galaxy, there are only a handful of them. All S-Class ships among them are cultivated. And he is an innate S-Class ship soul. The end point of others is his starting point. Just when Chuzhong was about to continue checking other rewards, Yun Qinghan quietly came to Chuzhong. Chuzhong, you don't have the ship soul awakening token, do you want to make a deal with me? Trade. Chuzhong also looked at Yun Qinghan, what deal? After saying that, Yun Qinghan opened her palm and saw a black fragment lying quietly in her palm. This is the awakening token of the B-Class Shadow Class frigate. As long as you agree to form a fleet with me in the future, this awakening token will be yours. The awakening token of the B-Class Shadow Class frigate. Chuzhong thought that Yun Qinghan was a rich woman, but he didn't expect that she was so rich. This is the awakening token of the B-Class Shadow Class frigate. How about you? Looking at Yun Qinghan in front of him, Chuzhong also raised questions. Yun Qinghan, on the other hand, took out a fiery red crystal very calmly. The A-Class Fire Phoenix class battleship's ship soul awakening token. After seeing this fiery red crystal, Chuzhong also smiled. Also, how could the awakening token Yun Qinghan prepared for himself be bad? Opposite him, Yun Qinghan also looked at Chu Zhang sincerely. As the most outstanding graduate of Blue Star University over the years, many organizations have sent invitations to Chu Zhang. But without exception, Chu Zhang rejected them all. Yun Qinghan also admired Chu Zhang very much, saying that it is easy to win an army but hard to find a general. For her, using a B-class ship soul token in exchange for a super talent is a very good deal. Huang Fei next to him almost burst out of his eyes when he saw this scene. The graduates around him couldn't help but gasp. B-level awakening token. Is this the strength of goddess Yun Qinghan? This is just an awakening token she gave to Chu Zhang. She has an A-level awakening token herself. A-level awakening token, I have only heard of this kind of thing, never seen it before. In comparison, Huang Fei's C-level awakening token is simply not good enough. Huang Fei's eyes widened as well. How could this Chu Zhang be so virtuous? You know, Yun Qinghan, who has a strong background and peerless appearance, as long as she flirts a little, there are countless people who are willing to join her fleet and become her subordinates. But Yun Qinghan chose Chu Zhang, and even took out a B-level awakening token as a bargaining chip. Huang Fei had never thought of this situation in his dreams. Cloud Goddess, can I also join your fleet? I have a C-level awakening token, so the awakened ship soul will definitely be good. At this time, Huang Fei was also shamelessly thinking about whether he could join Yun Qinghan's fleet. After all, I have a C-level awakening token in my hand, which is much better than those who don't even have an awakening token. But Yun Qinghan just looked at him coldly, and then uttered 3 words. You do not deserve. As soon as these 3 words came out, everyone looked at Huang Fei as if they were laughing. No matter how thick-skinned Huang Fei is, he can't help but feel hot at this moment. But then, something even more shocking happened. Chu Zhang looked at Yun Qinghan and said with certainty, I'm sorry, let me refuse. What? Chu Zhang rejected Yun Qinghan. Oh no, I heard you right. You heard right, Chu Zhang rejected Goddess Yun's invitation. How is that possible? That's a B-level awakening token. If it were me, hesitating for even a second would be disrespectful to the awakening token. Even Yun Qinghan was a little surprised. Logically speaking, my treatment of Chu Zhang is definitely generous. As long as he joins his fleet, he will give him the B-level awakening token in his hand. You know, B-level awakening tokens are not just something you can get if you have money. Yun Qinghan was also a little hard to accept. She thought this was a sure deal. But I didn't expect that Chu Zhang refused so decisively, without even a trace of hesitation. Can you give me a reason? Yun Qinghan was also a little unwilling to give up and continued to ask Chu Zhang for the reason. Chu Zhang said calmly, because I have a better choice. A better choice? Yun Qinghan frowned slightly. Could it be that someone offered Chu Zhang a higher price to work for him? But she really couldn't imagine what price that person paid to make Chu Zhang reject her so simply. Could it be that person who promised Chu Zhang the A-level awakening token? But Yun Qinghan knew very well that the difficulty of obtaining A-class ship soul awakening tokens was beyond the reach of ordinary people. Even his own father had to go to great lengths to get this A-class ship soul awakening token. It was hard for her to imagine who could spend so much money to get Chu Zhang to work for him. Thinking of this, Yun Qinghan also broke the casserole and asked what happened. A better choice. Do you have an A-level awakening token? No, it's S-class. As soon as these words came out, there was silence all around. Afterwards, Huang Fei was the first to laugh out loud. S-level awakening token. Chu Zhang, before you brag, do you want to make a draft and check the history of Blue Star? Since the appearance of the ship Soul, there has never been an S-class awakening token in Blue Star's historical records. The highest level of the ship Soul awakening token is a level. The existing S-class ships are all evolved from ship souls below S-class. Are you kidding me? Huang Fei seized this opportunity and ridiculed Chu Zhang desperately. At this moment, he seemed to want to get back all the face he had lost before. Yun Qinghan also frowned slightly. She originally thought that someone had hired Chu Zhang in advance using a grade A awakening token. But I didn't expect Chu Zhang to say such a thing. The S-class ship Soul Awakening token has never appeared in the entire history of Blue Star. This thing is entirely something that exists in theory. But Chu Zhang remained calm in the face of everyone's ridicule and contempt. Just because you haven't seen it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Seeing Chu Yang's confident look, even Yun Qinghan couldn't help but be slightly startled. Does the S-class ship's awakening token really exist? If this thing exists, wouldn't Chu Yang's awakened ship soul be at least S-level? Just thinking about it makes me feel terrified. You know, in the entire solar system and even the entire galaxy, S-class starships are rare. These S-class starships have continuously evolved from advanced ship souls, and eventually transformed into S-class ships, but essentially their ship soul levels are still below S-class. If Chu Zhong really has an S-class ship soul awakening token, then his ship soul is at least an S-class ship soul. For a starship with an S-class soul, it's hard to imagine how terrifying it will eventually grow. Since you have the S-class ship soul awakening token, take it out and let everyone open their eyes. I've never seen an S-class ship soul awakening token before. Huang Fei is also pressing forward step by step, as if today he will tear apart Chu Yang's lies and ruin his reputation. Chu Zhong was also very calm and opened his right hand. At this moment, everyone saw the items in his hands. A faint blue crystal floated quietly in Chu Yang's palm. Such a magical scene also attracted Yun Qinghan. She had never seen this awakening token before. This is not some broken rock you just found to fool us. Huang Fei naturally didn't believe that this ordinary crystal stone was the S-class ship's awakening token that Chu Zhong said. And Chu Zhong also smiled lightly. You will know when you wake up later. At this moment, the person in charge of the awakening ceremony also read Chu Yang's name. Next, Chu Zhong. Arrived at Chu Zhong. Exactly. Didn't he say that he has an S-level awakening token? If he really has an S-level awakening token, then the ship soul he awakens this time must be at least S-level. Are you bragging? It will be over in a moment. Everyone's eyes also fell on Chu Zhong. Chu Zhong is not under any pressure at all. He is sure that what the system gives him will not go wrong. He held the Tildaran crystal in his hand and walked towards the awakening platform leisurely. When he actually stood on this platform, he felt that the feeling on this platform was completely different from ordinary. Chu Zhong felt that the Tildaran crystal in his palm was getting hot, and even his heartbeat was a little faster. Buzz. At this moment, the surrounding energy crystal towers also rose. The huge energy magnetic field also enveloped Chu Zhong. Zhang and in the stands looked at the awakening Chu Zhong and recognized the most outstanding student of this Blue Star Academy in the past years. That little guy should be the legend from Blue Star Academy. I don't know what kind of ship soul he can awaken this time. If this guy can awaken AD level or higher ship soul, then I have to fight for it. As soon as he finished speaking, a planet lord next to him also smiled. Lord Zhong'an, don't be so anxious. The biggest certificate in the Sea of Stars is the ship soul. If he does not awaken an excellent ship soul, no matter how good he is, it will be useless. As soon as these words came out, many planet lords nearby also nodded slightly. They are all veterans who have been struggling in the endless Sea of Stars for many years. No one knows the importance of the ship soul better than them. In their eyes, the strength of the ship soul is everything. And Zhong'an cannot deny that if the level of Chu Yang's awakened ship soul is too low, then even he will not be able to get it into the Sun Federation. At this moment, the sky in Beihei Star Port suddenly changed drastically. Rumble. As a thundercloud gathered over Beihei Star Port, a huge coercion fell on everyone like the weight of a mountain. Zhong'an and others couldn't help but widen their eyes. What's the situation? Their eyes all fell on the awakening Chu Zhong, and they saw the Tildaran crystal in Chu Yang's hand burst out with amazing energy. A beam of light shoots straight into the sky like a coordinate. This scene shocked everyone. Even the person in charge of the awakening was dumbfounded. He has been responsible for the awakening of ship souls for so many years, but he has never seen such a huge awakening phenomenon. Wow! As a gust of wind blew by, a crack opened in the sky. At this moment, everyone saw it. A golden fleet suddenly arrived, and then, a planet appeared in their field of vision. Seeing this planet, all the planet lords suddenly stood up. This is the Star Spirit clan's mother planet. But wasn't the Star Spirit family's home planet destroyed by the Zerg thousands of years ago? How is it possible? This guy's ship soul is a starship belonging to the Protoss Spirit tribe. Hiss. Every starship in the Star Spirit clan's Golden Fleet is at the level of an A-class ship soul. Is this guy going to awaken an A-class ship soul? Even an A-class ship soul shouldn't make such a big move. But at this moment, Zhang interrupted the discussion of others. No, you may not understand the value of the Star Spirit Starship. After all, the Star Spirit tribe was originally a powerful race called the God Clan. If Chu Zhang really awakens the Starship soul of the Star Spirit tribe, then the ship soul he awakens will definitely be the strongest among all A-class ship souls. Others may not understand the value of the Protoss fleet, but Zhang knows it very well. Because Zhang saw the battle scene of the Star Spirit fleet. Although they only had a fleet of 100 ships, they easily destroyed the space pirate base with 500 ships. Zhang will never forget that terrifying fighting power. If Chu Yang's awakened ship soul is really the ship soul of the Star Spirit ship, then his ship soul's combat power is absolutely powerful. Thinking of this, Zhang also glanced at the surrounding planet lords. Those planet lords are already ready to make a move. Such a talent is completely a piece of cake for them. But at this moment, the vision in the sky changed again. The golden fleet in the sky suddenly began to change its formation, and a wide avenue was vacated. Numerous Protoss ships lined up on both sides, like a guard of honor, as if they were welcoming something. Seeing this scene, many planet lords were also stunned. Could it be that this golden fleet is not the protagonist of this awakening? What's going on? What kind of existence are these golden fleets welcoming? As far as I know, the golden fleet is the most elite among all fleets of the Protoss. What kind of existence can make the golden fleet make way for it? Hiss. Aren't these golden fleets one of the ship souls awakened by Chu Zhang? If not, wouldn't the level of his awakened ship soul be above level A? As soon as these words came out, all the planet lords looked at each other. You know, there are only S-class ship souls above the A-class ship soul. S-class ship souls have never appeared in the history of Blue Star. Although the ship souls of some of them have been upgraded to S level, they were all upgraded the day after tomorrow. An innate level S-class ship soul has never appeared in the history of Blue Star. For a moment, everyone felt a sense of solemnity. Boom! At this moment, a muffled sound came from the sky. 3 huge and magnificent ship souls rushed out from the Star Spirit mother planet. The bodies of these 3 ship souls are extremely large, and the energy emanating from them is as dazzling as the scorching sun. In front of these 3 ship spirits, even the Golden Fleet is inferior. At this moment, the Star Soul in the middle flew straight towards Chu Zhang. At this moment, the ship souls of all the Protoss ships turned into golden light and poured into that ship soul. A large amount of materials were swept up by this ship soul like a storm. Almost instantly, half of the materials that had been prepared had been absorbed by Chu Yang's ship soul. This half of the material is enough to build a frigate. But in front of Chu Yang's ship spirit, he was completely helpless. No, there's not enough material. Zhang was also shocked when he saw this. He didn't expect that the materials needed to condense Chu Yang's ship soul into a solid body would be so huge. If the ship soul does not absorb enough materials, it will not be able to successfully awaken. No one has ever awakened the S-class ship soul in the past years, and even Zhang did not expect this situation. The next second, Zhang stood up directly. Notify all departments. Call all the ship materials in Beihei Starport. Immediately. Is this an S-class ship soul? Oh my god, this is the first time I've seen such a huge awakening vision. Chu Zhang didn't lie, he really has an S-level awakening token. Is it important to lie at this time? This is the first innate S-class ship soul in the history of Blue Star. Today, this moment will eventually be recorded in the history of Blue Star. Chu Zhang stood on the platform and looked at the phantom of the ship above his head. After seeing the appearance of this ship, he also recognized its identity. This ship is one of the 3 arc ships of the Protoss, the Spear of Adun. Unexpectedly, my ship soul is actually it. But now Chu Zhang has no time to sigh, because the Spear of Adun is an S-class ship soul. To condense the entity, the materials consumed can be said to be an astronomical unit. I just don't know if Beihei Port can afford the supply. In fact, Chu Zhang has nothing to worry about. The moment Zhang gave the order, all the warehouses in Beihei Starport were opened. A large amount of ship materials were also carried out, and these materials would be automatically absorbed by the Spear of Adun as soon as they approached the awakening platform. Truck after truck delivers materials to the awakening platform. There were even some delivery trucks rushing in from outside the North River port. Many planet lords in the stands also mobilized their relationships to transport a large amount of ship materials. This is the first innate S-class ship soul in the history of Blue Star. As a Blue Star person, I will never miss this opportunity. This will be the glory of the entire Blue Star. As a large amount of material is absorbed, the shape of the Spear of Adun becomes clearer and clearer. When everyone looked at the huge Spear of Adun, they couldn't help but gasp. Why is this ship's system so huge? It's already longer than a battleship. More than just surpassing it, even battleships are as small as ants in front of it. Lord Zhang, this type of starship is obviously beyond the scope of a battleship. What type of starship is this? You ask me, who should I ask? Zhang replied angrily, even he had never seen such a huge starship. The entire sky of Beihei Starport is almost covered by this starship. The majestic and powerful aura was like a huge mountain, pressing on everyone's hearts. I don't know how long it took, but the last truck of ship materials was consumed. The ship soul and materials of the Spear of Adun were fully integrated, and a huge starship with entity appeared in the sky of Beihei Starport. Is this the S-class starship Spear of Adun? Chu Zhang opened his palm, and the Tildaran crystal that was originally in his palm had disappeared. But now, Chu Zhang can feel that there is a strong connection between himself and the Spear of Adun. The Spear of Adun seems to have become a part of his soul. As long as he moves his mind slightly, he can operate the Spear of Adun. Is this the power of the ship soul? You know, for such a huge ship to exert its power 100%, it must be operated by a large number of crew members. But it's different after having the ship soul. The ship soul and Chu Yang's soul are connected, and the Spear of Adun with the ship soul becomes a part of Chu Zhang. Now Chu Zhang operates the Spear of Adun as if he were using his own arms, with ease and flexibility. At this moment, a figure fell from the sky. The staff responsible for awakening saw this scene and immediately prepared to yell. However, when he saw the face of that person, he swallowed back the words that were on his lips. The figure that suddenly appeared in front of him was none other than Commander Neptune, Zhang. Zhang came straight to Chu Zhang, and Chu Zhang was also standing there. Young man, do you know that today you have awakened the first S-class ship soul in the history of Blue Star? I know. Chu Zhang also knows the value of the S-class ship soul very well. If it weren't for the Tildaran crystal rewarded by the system, no matter how lucky he was, he would probably only be able to awaken one A-class ship soul at most. And Zhang didn't hide it at all, he extended an olive branch to Chu Zhang. Young man, are you willing to join my fleet? As long as you are willing to join my Neptune fleet, I can separate a separate fleet for you to lead personally. Before he finished speaking, several more figures fell around Chu Zhang. These figures were other planet lords. When they saw Zhang coming to snatch people, they couldn't sit still. Boy, don't listen to this guy's nonsense. How big is the fleet he allocated to you? You are messing with me. As the Lord of Sapphire Star, I have as many as 3,000 ships under my command. I can assign 1,000 ships to you. Tisk, superficial. You guys are so insincere. After all, I am the first person in the history of Blue Star to awaken the soul of an S-class ship. Boy, as long as you agree to join me, I can give you the psychic seeds I recently obtained. Okay, you old fool, didn't you say that the psychic seeds have been used by you? For a time, the major planet lords on the awakening platform became very aggressive in order to recruit Chu Zhang. At this moment, Chu Zhang also coughed dryly. Sorry, lords, I have decided to go on an interstellar voyage alone. Right now, I don't plan to join any organization. Having said this, many planet lords also frowned slightly. Going on an interstellar voyage alone. Pity. If Chu Zhang, the first man in history, can be brought under his command, both his reputation and strength will be greatly increased. Since little brother Chu Zhang has already made his own choice, we can't force him. Zhang also understood that if he continued to entangle him, not only would he not be able to take Chu Zhang under his command, it would actually arouse his resentment. For a genius like Chu Zhang, and others naturally do not want to make enemies. So Zhang also took out a pass. This pass is a pass for the Galactic Covenant Alliance. As long as you have this pass, you can use all the stargates in the galaxy. This pass can also be regarded as Zhang An's goodwill towards Chu Yang's release. Seeing this, other planet lords followed suit and gave Chu Zhang many things. Chu Zhang looked at the trophy in his arms and couldn't laugh or cry. Is this the appeal of the S-class ship Soul Awakener? Afterwards, Chu Zhang also stepped off the awakening platform. Huang Fei's eyes widened when he looked at the dazzling array of trophies in Chu Yang's arms. Chu Zhang really awakened the S-class ship Soul. And Yun Qinghan's beautiful eyes also fell on Chu Zhang and could not be moved away. No wonder he declined his invitation, he did have better options. Next, Yun Qinghan. Immediately afterwards, many remaining graduates also awakened their ship souls one after another. Among them, Yun Qinghan also lived up to expectations and awakened the A-class Fire Phoenix-class battleship. This was originally something worth celebrating, but because of the example of Chu Zhang, not many people would care even if she awakened the A-class ship Soul. Soon, everyone successfully awakened the ship Soul. This also means they will officially graduate. From now on, whether they join other fleets or go on an interstellar voyage alone, this is their own life choice. The awakening ceremony was over, and Chu Zhang was also preparing to leave Beihei Starport. My spear of Adun has been parked in the Moon Starport as instructed. After all, his spear of Adun is extremely large. Even for North River Starport, it was still difficult to accommodate the spear of Adun. Next, Chu Zhang will prepare the things needed for interstellar navigation. After all, he still has the coordinates of the Holy Terra rewarded by the system. Chu Zhang took out the astrolabe that recorded the coordinates of Holy Terra. There was a coordinate recorded on the astrolabe. And the place where this coordinate is located is what the world calls outer territory. The Outland is a realm that humans have not set foot on until now. The outer realm is filled with all kinds of powerful alien races, and it also contains a large amount of rare energy materials. For example, the psychic seeds that can reshape a person are basically spread from the outside world. Compared with the inner realm that humans have explored, the outer realm is like a mist, unknown and mysterious. And the coordinates of this Holy Terra are right within the scope of the outer domain. It seemed that he had to go to the outside world. An S-class starship, Spear of Adun, was enough to get Chu Zhang excited. This Holy Terra will definitely not be any worse than the Spear of Adon. At this moment, a hand was also placed on Chu Yang's shoulder. Chu Zhang looked back and saw Yun Qinghan standing behind him. Chu Zhang, are you free now? As soon as these words came out, other graduates who were preparing to leave also gathered their attention. What's the situation? Could it be that Goddess Yun still doesn't give up and wants to take Chu Zhang under her command? Tisk, 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 this is the second time Goddess Yun has come to Chu Zhang. I really envy him. When will I be pestered by Goddess Yun? Whenever you awaken your S-class ship soul, Goddess Yun may also be chasing you. Is Goddess Yun still not giving up? Chu Zhang even refused the invitation of the Sun Federation. You can't tell. You may not know what conditions Goddess Yun will offer this time. Chu Zhang looked at Yun Qinghan in front of him and answered truthfully. Now I plan to go to the market to buy some space navigation equipment. Hearing this sentence, Yun Qinghan was also a little embarrassed. Why couldn't she hear the rejection in Chu Yang's words? As a sweet girl of heaven, I was actually rejected by the same person twice in one day. Thinking of this, Yun Qinghan secretly became excited in her heart. Just when Yun Qinghan was about to say something else, a generous figure appeared behind her. Young man, I asked my daughter to come to you. I have something to discuss with you. Wow, the people around him exploded. Because the person standing behind Yun Qinghan is none other than Yun Qinghan's father, the Lord of Aurora Star, Yun Ruofeng. Yun Ruofeng is the planet lord of the Sun Federation, but he and the Sun Federation are only in a cooperative relationship. He has 10 planet territories under his command, and his strength is extremely terrifying. His fleet alone is as high as more than 10,000. With such a strong strength, even the Sun Federation would give it 3 points. Unexpectedly, Yun Ruofeng actually came to Chu Zhang in person. Now, even if Chu Zhang wanted to refuse, he felt a little embarrassed. Since you have said so, "My lord, I would rather obey your orders than I am respectful." Hearing these words, Yun Qinghan was also a little unconvinced. "It's useless to call him by yourself, you have to have your father come forward. Are you so unattractive? After all, I am somewhat pretty, but this guy doesn't give me any face." When Zhang An saw Chu Zhang being taken away by Yun Ruofang, his eyes widened. "I wonder, is this guy Yun Ruofang planning to give his daughter away in order to recruit Chu Zhang?" Zhang An touched his chin and thought for a moment. During this moment, he carefully searched for anyone among his relatives who was suitable to introduce to Chu Zhang. In the end, Zhang An also slapped his thigh. "No, we can't let this guy Yun Ruofang abduct Chu Zhang." So Zhang An also followed directly. Chu Zhang and his party also went directly to the most upscale restaurant in Blue Star. Yun Ruofang specially ordered a private room. There were only 3 people in the huge private room: Chu Zhang, Yun Qinghan and Yun Ruofang. At this moment, Chu Zhang was sitting on pins and needles, wondering why Yun Ruofang suddenly came to him. "Lord, I wonder if you have any business with me." Chu Zhang was also unceremonious and took the initiative to ask straight to the point. And Yun Ruofang glanced at Chu Zhang, with a sense of oppression belonging to a superior in his eyes. But faced with this sense of oppression, Chu Zhang was not afraid at all. "After all, I am now the first S-class ship Soul Awakener in the history of Blue Star. If Yun Ruofang dared to touch him, no planet lord from Blue Star would let him go." Yun Ruofang just looked at Chu Zhang for a while, and then took out a star coin card. "There are 5 million star coins in here. I want to hire you to protect my daughter." Recently, a group of interstellar pirates appeared near the solar system. Interstellar pirates. Ordinary interstellar pirates can be easily wiped out by sending out a fleet from the Sun Federation. What kind of pirate would let Yun Ruofang hire Chu Zhang to protect Yun Qinghan? Based on the information we have investigated so far, this group of pirates most likely came to the solar system from the outer realm through a wormhole. Because of this, they are very cunning and will immediately evade our fleet once they spot it. The flagship of their fleet is a starship with a B-class soul. Although they are B-class, they have an invisible position. It is difficult for us to catch these guys. Interstellar pirates from Outland. Chu Zhang touched his chin. No wonder the Sun Federation hasn't dealt with these pirates yet. None of the interstellar pirates who could survive in the outer realm was a good person. Next, you will definitely become the first target of attack by these interstellar pirates. So, I would like to ask you to temporarily form a fleet with my daughter to protect my daughter. You just need to bring my daughter to the Vulcan galaxy. At that time, you can arrange whatever you want." Yun Ruofang also expressed his request. Looking at the star coin card on the table, Chu Zhang was also moved. "You know, interstellar voyage is an extremely long and expensive activity. I am worried about the fact that the Spear of Adun is such a huge starship, and the maintenance cost alone will cost a lot of star coins. And the star coins that Yun Ruofang gave him just solved his urgent need." Thinking of this, Chu Zhang also glanced at Yun Qinghan. "If Goddess Yun has no objection, I can accept this commission." As soon as he finished speaking, Yun Ruofang's eyes fell on his daughter. Seeing the 2 people's eyes focused on him, Yun Qinghan also snorted softly. "Father, you are making too much fuss. They are just a group of interstellar pirates. Can't you just send a fleet to escort me to the Vulcan galaxy? How about letting this guy protect me?" Yun Qinghan was also a little unconvinced. Yun Ruofang touched her head. "This is the solar system, and the fleet under my command cannot move too much. Besides, if you let a large fleet escort you to the Vulcan galaxy, it will attract the attention of those interstellar pirates. Don't underestimate those interstellar pirates. They have been wandering around in the outer world for many years, and each of them has at least a few lives on their hands." Having said that, Yun Ruofang also looked at Chu Zhang. Chu Yang's fleet consisted of 1 and 2 ships, and even those interstellar pirates probably looked down upon him. Even if you are unlucky enough to encounter those interstellar pirates, with the strength of the Chu Zhang S-class starship, stopping those interstellar pirates will not be a problem. As long as those interstellar pirates dare to take action, their fleets wandering around the edge of the solar system can come to support at any time. In order to allow Yun Qinghan to embark on the interstellar voyage more safely, Yun Ruofang, an old father, was also worried. In the end, Yun Qinghan accepted his father's arrangement. She didn't think she was so unlucky that she would encounter those interstellar pirates as soon as she left the solar system. Then I will accept this commission. Chu Zhang took the star coin card and felt happy in his heart. In this way, there will be no problem with your initial capital. The next step is to go to the market to purchase some space food. After all, there are still 1,000 pilot warriors on his starship. These pilot warriors cannot stay without food or drink. Boom! Just when Chu Zhang was putting away the star coin card, the door to the private room was forcibly opened. Zhang An was seen standing at the door. When he saw Chu Zhang standing up and preparing to leave, he was slightly startled. Did you come too late? When Yun Ruofeng saw Zhang An appearing here, he was stunned for a moment, and then he understood. Don't worry, I just discussed with this guy Chu Zhang and asked him to protect my daughter when he leaves the solar system. As soon as he said this, Zhang An also looked at Chu Zhang with suspicion. Chu Zhang also looked confused. Why did Zhang An appear here? Yun Ruofeng waved his hand to signal Zhang An to come in, and then said to Yun Qinghan beside him. You go and purchase the supplies needed for interstellar navigation with Chu Zhang. I still have some important things to discuss with Lord Zhang An. After hearing this, Yun Qinghan left the private room very wisely. After leaving the private room, Yun Qinghan also looked at Chu Zhang. Chu Yang's attention has always been on the star coin cards, and at this time he has begun to think about how to use these star coins. In the private room, Zhang An also looked at Yun Ruofeng. Lord Yun, what do you want from me? And Yun Ruofeng also looked at him angrily. What else can happen? Of course it is about the group of interstellar pirates that have been wreaking havoc around the solar system recently. According to the information we know, this group of interstellar pirates is called the Crazy Pirates Group. This pirate group once operated in the outer realm, but offended a planet lord, so they were chased into a wormhole. Just some time ago, a wormhole appeared in the surrounding areas of the solar system, and they were transported here. A gang of outlaw pirates. Hearing this name, Zhang An also frowned. He did know about this interstellar pirate recently. The Sun Federation is also very troubled by this. If it were a head-on confrontation, the fleet of any planet lord in the Solar Federation could easily crush this pirate fleet. But the troublesome thing is that this pirate fleet won't fight you head-on at all. They ransacked caravans around the solar system and fled after looting. In addition, their flagship is a B-class starship with a stealth position, and they have no way to start. Now this pirate fleet has almost become a worry for the senior officials of the Sun Federation. However, Zhang An was even more impressed that Yun Ruofeng was able to get so much information about this crazy pirate group. So what are you going to do next? Zhang An was also a little curious about how Yun Ruofeng planned to deal with these interstellar pirates. Yun Ruofeng said very calmly, I have already released the news that my daughter is preparing to embark on an interstellar voyage. Those greedy interstellar pirates will never let go of this opportunity. As soon as these words came out, Zhang An stood up suddenly. What, is Yun Ruofeng planning to use her daughter as bait? If something happens to Yun Qinghan, Lord Cloud, are you taking too many risks? Unexpectedly, when Yun Ruofeng heard these words, he stared at Zhang An closely. Finally, Yun Ruofeng said something. I believe in Chu Yang's strength. Chu Zhang. When Zhang An heard the name, he thought that Yun Ruofeng had hired Chu Zhang to escort his daughter. Is all this part of Yun Ruofeng's plan? Zhang An immediately felt that there was a certain reason why Yun Ruofeng could reach his current position. On Chu Yang's side, he also came to the largest interstellar market with Yun Qinghan. In this market, a large number of goods are sold. Whether it's shipbuilding materials or space food, everything is available. Chu Zhang also went straight to the space food area and purchased a large amount of space food. Seeing this scene, Yun Qinghan was also a little curious. Don't you go to the energy area to take a look first? If there is no energy during interstellar navigation, it will be a very fatal thing. Hearing this, Chu Zhang also waved his hand. Does he still need to worry about energy? What energy source is better than the solar core inside the sphere of Adon? Outside the solar system, on an unknown planet. On this bare and desolate planet, dozens of starships are parked on the surface of the planet. Several interstellar pirates walked out of the starship wearing space combat uniforms. They also use the materials in their hands to start repairing their ships. Most of these interstellar pirates are composed of orcs, and the pirate leader is a werewolf race with a wolf head and a human body. Be smarter. Once all our ships are repaired, we will leave this hellish place. As he said that, the werewolf leader also spat in disgust. Some time has passed since they came to the periphery of the solar system. During this period, they also relied on their fleets to hijack caravans traveling between the solar system and other galaxies. Using the materials in the hands of these caravans, they also repaired the damage to their own fleet in the outer domain. This place is really extremely poor. After so many days of looting, it's not as good as what we gain in one day in the outside world. The werewolf leader also said with some disgust. In terms of resource richness, the solar system is really not as rich as the outer territories. The supplies transported by any caravan in the outer realm are enough to make them jealous. After hearing what the boss said, the younger brother also smiled. Boss, although these caravans don't have much profit, they are safe. Yes, boss, look at those fleets in the solar system. We have been robbing them for so many days without even finding us. If we were in the outer realm, by this time, those lunatics would have already started sending star destroyers to hunt us down. Before he finished speaking, the werewolf leader directly interrupted the words of these pirate boys. What can a bunch of good-for-nothing guys accomplish by staying in this remote place? If it weren't for my invisible stance, you would have been reduced to rubble by artillery fire. I have already found out clearly that the daughter of Lord Aurora will be passing through our galaxy today. After finishing this job, we will stop and go to the outer lands. My ambition should be to show my talents in the outer lands. The daughter of Lord Aurora. Upon hearing the news, the surrounding pirates instantly became excited. They know that this Aurora Star-Lord is a powerful lord who owns the territory of 10 planets. If she kidnapped her daughter, she would definitely be able to knock out a lot of things. This can make money much faster than exploiting those merchant ships. Thinking of this, many interstellar pirates also became excited. During this period, frequent successful robberies also gave them a lot of confidence. In the starry sky at this time, the huge spear of Adun was sailing in the endless sea of stars. Next to it, Yun Qinghan's Fire Phoenix-class battleship looked extremely small. Chu Zhong was sitting in the driving seat of the bridge, always checking the surrounding situation. In the communication channel next to him, Yun Qinghan looked at Chu Zhong looking like he was facing a formidable enemy and said with some disdain. Chu Zhong, we have just left the solar system, there is no need to be so nervous. We still have a long way to go in the future. If you keep your nerves tense like this, you can easily damage your body. Hearing these words, Chu Zhong was also a little bit dumbfounded. After all, he was paid by Yun Ruofang to protect Yun Qinghan. Yun Ruofang also said that recently there was a group of interstellar pirates from the outside world wandering around the surrounding solar system. If you encounter those interstellar pirates, a fight between dragons and tigers is inevitable. Although Chu Zhong simulated thousands of Star Sea battles when he was at Blue Star Academy. But in terms of actual combat, he has never experienced it. I received your father's reward, so naturally I want to protect your safety. Hearing Chu Yang's words, Yun Qinghan was slightly startled at first. Afterwards, Yun Qinghan also said a little arrogantly, who needs your protection anymore? My father likes to make small things serious. Interstellar pirates are interstellar pirates. Even if they come from outer lands, they are just a ragtag group. My Fire Phoenix-class battleships are the most powerful among all A-class battleships. And with the blessing of the ship's soul, those interstellar pirates are just a bunch of trash in front of me. As soon as these words were spoken, the Spear of Adun and the Fire Phoenix-class battleship sounded alarms at the same time. Warning, approaching space jump operation detected. Whoosh, a starship suddenly appeared in their field of vision. Immediately afterwards, more and more starships appeared in their world. In just one breath, dozens of ships had already surrounded the Spear of Adun and Fire Phoenix-class battleships. Chu Zhong observed carefully and found that the hulls of these starships also had uniform paintings. These coatings also reveal their identities. The fleet in front of me should be the pirate fleet that has caused a lot of commotion in the solar system recently. The boss of the outlaw pirate group, the werewolf leader, was also slightly startled after seeing the spear of Adun. Their men also tracked the signal of the Fire Phoenix-class battleship, so they decisively reported it to them. Therefore, they did not hesitate to make a space jump and arrived in front of the Fire Phoenix-class battleship. "Boss, what type of starship is this? Why haven't I encountered it before? Oh my god, why is this starship so big? Even the aircraft carrier is not worth mentioning in front of it. What's going on? Why is there such a big starship next to this Fire Phoenix-class battleship?" At this moment, the werewolf leader was also unable to dismount. Originally, they saw the signal of only one ship next to the Fire Phoenix-class battleship, and thought it was the frigate of the Fire Phoenix-class battleship. They have dozens of ships fighting against two ships, what's the point of being cowardly? Who would have thought that when they jumped over in space and saw the appearance of the spear of Adun, they couldn't help but swallow a gulp of saliva? What are you afraid of? No matter how big this ship is, it is just a ship. When the fight starts soon, we will focus on this big starship. I don't believe it can withstand it. No matter how powerful the ship is, it will be smashed into scrap metal under the concentrated fire of dozens of ships. With the leader's words, many interstellar pirates who were still in a panic calmed down. And Yun Qinghan was sitting in the bridge with a solemn expression. "Chu Zhong, these interstellar pirates are probably coming for me. You stabilize them first, I have sent a distress signal. This place is not far from the solar system. The patrol fleet of the Solar Federation will definitely come to rescue us after receiving the signal. Before that, you need to stabilize these pirates first. Even if you are an S-class starship, you will not be able to withstand the concentrated fire of dozens of starships." Yun Qinghan also quickly calmed down and formulated a series of strategies. But at this time, Chu Yang's voice came from the communication channel. "Late, what?" Before Yun Qinghan could react, he saw a dazzling light shining under the spear of Adun. The moment they saw this light, the interstellar pirates on the opposite side were also stunned. This kid doesn't have martial ethics and is carrying out a sneak attack. All ships prepare to avoid attack. The werewolf leader shouted, and all the ships under the crazy pirates immediately entered a defensive posture. But the next second, a scorching light fell directly into their fleet. Brush. The light passed directly through the body of a starship. The next second, the starship was cut into two halves. Boom, accompanied by a dazzling firelight rising in the universe. For a moment, everyone was stunned. Instant kill. Their energy shields and ship armor were like paper in front of that light, being easily cut open. Is this gone? Yun Qinghan couldn't believe his eyes. You know, a starship has two layers of defense, energy shield and ship armor. Even if they are starships of the same level, it will take some time for the two to break through the defenses. But Chu Yang's spear of Adun directly cut the opposite starship in half with just one ray. Such terrifying power made Yun Qinghan take a breath of air. Is this the power of the S-class starship? She originally thought that the difference between S-class starships and A-class starships was not that big. But today, after truly seeing the power of the S-class starship, she realized how wrong she was. In the bridge of the spear of Adun, Chu Zhong was also looking at the screen in front of him. Ding, the solar ray has successfully hit the target, please lock the target again. If a fixed target cannot be selected within the specified time, the solar ray will start to automatically search for the enemy system. Automatically search for enemies, Chu Zhong thought to himself. He didn't expect the weapon on the spear of Adun to be so powerful. Just a solar ray actually cut a starship in half. The most important thing is that the solar ray can select 3 targets with each shot. In other words, every time he attacks, he takes away 3 enemy starships. While Chu Zhong was still thinking, the spear of Adun also activated the automatic enemy detection system. Automatic enemy detection system starts. The 2 most recent targets have been selected. Whoosh, whoosh, 2 solar rays burst out instantly. The 2 locked starships didn't even react and were cut in half by the solar rays. Boom, 2 more starships exploded. Now, even the werewolf leader couldn't sit still. What on earth is this starship about? Everyone, focus your fire to attack the largest starship. They all came here through space jump, and now it's useless even if they want to escape. Now, we can only fight to the death with Chu Zhong. Besides, they have dozens of starships here. There are only 2 starships on the opposite side. In terms of numbers, they have the advantage. For a time, all the pirate starships were on full fire. They also know very well that if this starship is not dealt with, the next laser beam might fall on their heads. Immediately afterwards, a large number of artillery attacked Chuzhong like a heavy rain. And Chuzhong was sitting in the bridge, his eyes slightly narrowed. I saw him controlling the spear of Adun and arriving in the sky above the Yunqinghan Fire Phoenix-class battleship. Chuzhong, what do you want to do? Yunqinghan saw an entrance appearing at the bottom of the spear of Adun. And this entrance can just accommodate his Fire Phoenix-class battleship. With such an intensive artillery attack, I have no way to guarantee that you won't be killed by the concentrated fire of those interstellar pirates. You can hide inside my ship for a while, and when I deal with these pirates, it won't be too late for you to come out. Hearing these words, Yunqinghan was a little reluctant. But at this time, she could no longer tolerate her willfulness. So, she also accepted Chu Yang's suggestion. The spear of Adun swallowed the Fire Phoenix-class battleship into its belly. With the size of the spear of Adon, it was more than enough to park a battleship in its body. The Fire Phoenix-class battleship was anchored in the spear of Adun, and Yunqinghan also walked out of the battleship. When she saw the inside of the spear of Adun, she couldn't help but feel extremely shocked. With such a huge internal space, not to mention its own battleship, even if an aircraft carrier comes, the spear of Adon can easily swallow it. And Chuzhong also received the prompt that the Fire Phoenix-class battleship entered the spear of Adun. Now, I don't have anything to worry about. Chuzhong waved his hand and raised the corners of his mouth slightly. It's time to test the true strength of the spear of Adun. Activate all fire weapons. Outside the spear of Adun, numerous interstellar pirates launched attacks one after another. The endless artillery fire almost drowned the spear of Adun. With such powerful firepower, other starships would have been bombarded into a pile of scrap metal by this time. But the flames dissipated, and the spear of Adon still stood there intact. Even the energy shield on the surface still exudes holy brilliance. Seeing this scene, many interstellar pirates panicked. Oh no, boss, this starship is so evil. We have been bombarding for 3 rounds. My ship's ammunition is all empty. We haven't even broken the energy shield on the opposite side. No, boss, the defense on the other side is as hard as a tortoise shell. If this continues, the Sun Federation's fleet will come over. Our space engines have cooled down and can make space jumps and retreat at any time. After hearing the advice of his younger brothers, the werewolf leader also wiped his hands with cold sweat. His eyes fell on the huge body of the spear of Adun, and he secretly thought in his heart. How could such a monster suddenly appear in the solar system? Now he was in a dilemma. The concentrated fire just now also showed that their attacks had no effect on the spear of Adon. He has been wandering around in the outer world for so many years, but he has never encountered such a troublesome guy. Thinking of this, the werewolf leader also waved his hand. Prepare to retreat. They've been delayed here long enough. If the stalemate continues like this, once the Sun Federation's fleet surrounds them, they won't be able to escape. He doesn't want to end up here. When Chuzhong, who was sitting on the bridge, saw the pirate starship preparing to retreat, he also showed a sarcastic smile. I haven't said you can leave yet. For a moment, densely packed turrets also rose on the deck of the spear of Adun. Even 2 giant cannons appeared on both sides of the ship. Such terrifying firepower, in the eyes of those interstellar pirates, was as terrifying as the death talisman of the King of Hell. No, it's about to attack. What are you doing standing still? Run. Don't rush me, I'm already preparing for the space jump. For a time, many interstellar pirates were in chaos. When they saw the densely packed turrets on the spear of Adun, their courage was shattered. What kind of monster is this ship? Not only is the defense so terrifying, but even the fire system on the body is so terrifying. But at this time, how could Chuzhong give them a chance to escape? With full force, emission, rumble. For a moment, the spear of Adun opened fire, and the endless artillery fire spread around like stars in the sky. These artillery fires intertwined a large firepower net in the air. With such terrifying firepower, those interstellar pirates felt their scalps go numb just by seeing it. At this time, Yunqinghan also happened to come to the corridor. When she saw the scene in front of her through the skylight, she couldn't help but widen her eyes. Rumble. The rolling flames swept across the starry sky like a tsunami. All the ships of the outlaw pirates were almost instantly devoured by the terrifying firepower of the Spear of Adun. Whether it's defense or firepower, the Spear of Adun is infinitely more powerful than my Fire Phoenix-class battleship. At this moment, Yun Qinghan was completely shocked by the scene in front of him. This scene once again refreshed her understanding of S-class starships. The flames dissipated, and the many pirate starships that had gathered together disappeared. All that was left in place were piles of scrap metal floating in the starry sky. After a round of artillery bombardment, the entire pirate group was wiped out. This is the powerful strength of the S-class starship, the Spear of Adun. However, Chu Zhang, who was operating the Spear of Adon in the bridge at the moment, did not relax. Ship thermal energy response detected. Sure enough, I found you. Chu Zhang had long heard Yun Ruifeng say that the flagship of this pirate fleet was a B-class starship with an invisible stance. Without seeing it being destroyed with his own eyes, Chu Zhang would not let down his guard easily. Sure enough, under the detection of the powerful enemy detection system of the Spear of Adun, that B-class starship also showed some flaws. However, what Chu Zhang admired a little was, even the Spear of Adun only detects the thermal energy reaction coordinates of the ship before it enters the invisible position, and cannot accurately locate the specific coordinates of the starship. The starship's soul seems to have the ability to block any signal. No wonder the Sun Federation has never arrested him. At this time, Yun Qinghan also came to the bridge and saw Chu Zhang sitting in the command position. Chu Zhang, have all those interstellar pirates been dealt with? Chu Zhang glanced at Yun Qinghan and told her the truth. Most of the pirates should have been dealt with, but their leader escaped. His ship has a stealth position, blocking all signals, and its specific location cannot be detected at all. Hearing these words, Yun Qinghan also frowned. The pirate leader was actually able to escape from the fire bombardment of the Spear of Adon. It seemed that his father was right. None of the pirates who could survive in the outer world were fuel efficient. However, Yun Qinghan glanced at the ship fragments suspended in space and thought to himself, most of the ships in this pirate fleet have been destroyed by Chu Zhang. Even if the pirate leader escapes, he will probably not be able to cause any trouble in the future. Just when Yun Qinghan was thinking this, Chu Zhang said very calmly, "It doesn't matter, as long as you have the general location. Spear of Adun, lock on the last detected coordinates. Carry out fire bombing with this coordinate as the center. Starting fire bombing mode." For a time, all the forts were aimed at the same place. In the void at this moment, the werewolf leader was sitting on the bridge with an embarrassed look on his face. He looked around and saw that his ship was on the verge of collapse. If he hadn't activated his invisible stance in time, he might have turned into a pile of space junk. "Very good, I remember you. When I come back, I will definitely make you pay the price." The werewolf leader looked at the Spear of Adun fiercely, as if he wanted to carve its appearance deeply into his mind. But at this moment, bad news sounded from the ship control panel in front of him. "Warning, a large amount of heat source is detected approaching." What? When the werewolf leader turned back again, he couldn't help but be shocked by the sight in front of him. Artillery all over the sky appeared in the starry sky like stars, and a large number of missiles and artillery came towards him like a heavy rain. No, boom, the endless flames directly swallowed it up, so what if it was invisible? Chu Zhang directly used firepower to end the criminal life of the crazy pirate group. When Chu Zhang saw the ship's soul rising from the starry sky and finally blending into the starry sky, he was sure that the last flagship on the opposite side had also been eliminated by him. Once the starship is destroyed, the ship's soul in the starship will also disappear. Next, is the part of collecting the loot that everyone loves to see. Chu Zhang confiscated a treasure chest from the flagship of the outlaw pirate group. This treasure chest was still intact despite the bombardment of artillery fire. So Chu Zhang also confiscated it. After a lot of effort, I successfully opened the treasure chest. But when Chu Zhang opened the treasure box, his expression changed. Because in the huge box, apart from some star coins, there was only one astrolabe. "Tisk, didn't you say that these guys are interstellar pirates from the outside world? That's all the property is. Yun Qinghan, who was next to him, took the astrolabe and said, "How could these interstellar pirates put everything on themselves? I think the coordinates recorded on this astrolabe should be where they hide the treasure." Chu Zhang glanced at the coordinates on the astrolabe, and one of the coordinates was not too far away from them. So Chu Zhang also took the astrolabe. It just so happens that this coordinate is not far from us. How about we get the treasures of these pirates first, and then go to Vulcan? No problem, I'm not in a hurry anyway. Chu Zhang and Yun Qinghan also hit it off and planned to find the treasure left by the crazy pirate group first. But at this moment, the spear of Adun suddenly received a communication signal. Chu Zhang took a look and saw that the communication signal was from the Sun Federation and was connected directly. After the signal was connected, Zhang An's anxious face came into view. "Chu Zhang, are you okay? We'll be there soon, hold on." Chapter 11. The Fleet of the Federation of the Sun. Yun Qinghan also breathed a sigh of relief after seeing Zhang An's face. The support from the Sun Federation has finally arrived. But then, Yun Qinghan looked at the ship fragments suspended in space, and couldn't help but smile bitterly in his heart. Now even if these Sun Federation ships arrive, they will be of little use. In fact, less than an hour had passed since the signal was received from the Sun Federation. In an interstellar war, this kind of support speed is definitely considered fast. After all, the two are separated by several galaxies, so being able to support them as soon as possible is considered a feat of the Sun Federation's military speed. But no matter how fast they are not as fast as Chu Zhang in annihilating enemies. Even now Yun Qinghan feels exaggerated when he sees these ship fragments suspended in space. Unexpectedly, Chu Yang's S-class starship is so powerful. Just one person annihilated the interstellar pirate fleet organized by dozens of ships. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, a large number of Sun Federation starships appeared in the starry sky. Zhang An's Quangtao-class battleship took the lead and came here first. Following closely behind was Yun Ruofang's Aurora fleet, and Yun Ruofang's aircraft carrier was even more oppressive. The moment it appeared, countless swarms of fighter jets attacked like swarms of bees. However, when they saw the scene around them, they couldn't help but froze. I saw Chu Yang's spear of Adun suspended in space, and the wreckage of the ship was everywhere around it. What exactly is going on? Didn't it mean that they were attacked by a group of crazy pirates? Where's the outlaw pirates? Why didn't I see it? What's the situation with the starship wreckage around here? Is there a possibility that Chu Zhang and the others have annihilated the mad pirates? For a moment, Zhang An was silent. Even Yun Ruofang was stunned. Are these starship wrecks the starships of the outlaw pirates? They observed carefully and found that the paint on the wreckage of these starships was the logo of the outlaw pirates. In other words, Chu Zhang and Yun Qinghan annihilated the entire pirate fleet. Waiting for this result, both Zhang An and Yun Ruofang couldn't believe it. This is an entire pirate fleet, consisting of dozens of starships. And most starships have powerful firepower systems. If an ordinary starship is attacked by dozens of ships, it will be reduced to rubbish in minutes. But the spear of Adon is standing here intact, without even any damage. Wait a minute, Qinghan, where is your Fire Phoenix class battleship? At this time, Yun Ruofang also discovered that Yun Qinghan's Fire Phoenix class battleship was missing. Could it be that Yun Qinghan's Fire Phoenix class battleship had been destroyed in the battle just now? If this is really the case, wouldn't Yun Qinghan's future be ruined? You know, a person can only awaken the ship's soul once in his life. If the starship is destroyed and the ship's soul returns to the star sea, if you want to summon the ship's soul again, you will have to pay a price that is unimaginable for ordinary people. In an instant, Yun Ruofang even showed a series of scenes of trying to make up for Yun Qinghan's misfortune. But at this moment, Yun Qinghan's words directly interrupted Yun Ruofang's random thoughts. Father, don't worry, my Fire Phoenix class battleship is now moored in the cabin of the Spear of Adun. Before the war started, Chu Zhang had already protected my Fire Phoenix class battleship, so there is nothing to worry about now. Hearing these words, Zhang An's eyes also lit up. Can other starships be accommodated in the cabin of the Spear of Adon? However, seeing the huge system of the Spear of Adun, Zhang An's doubts were self-evident. The annihilation of the mad pirates was all due to Chu Zhang and had nothing to do with me. Yun Qinghan did not share Chu Yang's contribution. If it were not for Chu Yang's protection, she would not be much better off now. Therefore, Yun Qinghan was also very self-aware and reported the situation truthfully. Many Sun Federation soldiers looked at the ruins of many starships and reminded them, "Lord, what should we do next? Now that the outlaw pirates have been annihilated, there's no point in them staying here." Zhang An and Yun Ruifeng also looked at each other when they saw this, and finally Zhang An coughed dryly. "Chu Zhang, this time you annihilated the mad pirates, which can be regarded as solving a trouble for the Sun Federation. So, in order to reward you, the Sun Federation will transfer a bounty of 5 million to your account. 5 million star coins." Chu Zhang was also delighted when he heard that there was a reward. Unexpectedly, in addition to the treasures of the mad pirates, he also had other unexpected gains. Chu Zhang also expressed his gratitude to Zhang An. Zhang An and others were also sensible and did not ask Chu Zhang if he had obtained any trophies from the fanatic pirate group. In just his debut battle, Chu Zhang annihilated an interstellar pirate fleet from the outside world. This was enough for Zhang An and Yun Ruifeng to see his terrifying growth potential. For this kind of genius monster, they can only be friends with each other and not have any enemies with him. The Sun Federation fleet and Aurora Star fleet came here aggressively, but left very calmly. They never expected that Chu Zhang alone could annihilate dozens of interstellar pirate ships. After many ships left, Yun Qinghan couldn't wait to come to Chu Yang's side. "Hurry up, they're all gone, let's go treasure hunting." Yun Qinghan was very interested in treasure hunting. The reason why she chose interstellar navigation was not just to find unknown treasures in the endless sea of stars. Now, there is a treasure placed in front of her. She could no longer contain the excitement in her heart. Seeing this, Chu Zhang couldn't help but smile. Unexpectedly, Goddess Yun, who was aloof at Blue Star Academy, would have such a side. "Aren't you going to return to your starship?" Hearing Chu Yang's words, Yun Qinghan snorted. "What, are you driving people away now? Anyway, your cabin is more than enough to accommodate an aircraft carrier. My little battleship shouldn't take up much of your position." Seeing Yun Qinghan's arrogant look, Chu Zhang also smiled. At the beginning, he had also thought about letting Yun Qinghan park the Fire Phoenix class battleship in his cabin. "Put it down when you get to the Vulcan galaxy." But at first Yun Qinghan was very resistant and refused to do anything. Now the attitude has changed 180 degrees. Chu Zhang did not pursue the matter any further. He opened the interface for the Spear of Adun. Preparing to start the space jump system. Setting the next destination. Philo Galaxy, Planet Carlos. Whoosh! Along with a stream of light, it lit up around the star Kalos. The figure of the Spear of Adon also appeared around the planet Kalos. Looking at the green planet in front of him, Chu Zhang also reminded Yun Qinghan beside him. "We have arrived at Kalos." With that said, Chu Zhang also put on his own portable space suit. The oxygen content on the planet Carlos is only about 1/10 of that of the blue star. If you don't wear a spacesuit to enter the planet Kalos, ordinary humans won't be able to hold on for long. Fortunately, Blue Star's technology is now extremely advanced. The lightest spacesuit will form a thin layer when worn on the body, and movement will not be hindered by the spacesuit at all. "Are we there yet?" Yun Qinghan looked at the Carlos star in front of him, and then said to Chu Zhang, "There may be some pirate remnants where the treasure is hidden, so be careful." How could Chu Zhang not take this situation into consideration? Chu Zhang clapped his hands, and the hatch behind him opened. A group of elite pilots wearing various equipment, also holding firearms, stood behind them. "The first team has been assembled. Please give the captain the order." Looking at these well-trained pilot warriors in front of him, Yun Qinghan was extremely shocked. She didn't know where Chu Zhang found these elite soldiers. Just standing here, these pilot warriors can give people a strong sense of oppression. Although Yun Qinghan also has his own ship escort, compared with these pilots, it is not even a bit inferior. "Get ready, let's get ready to land." Such a huge system as the Spear of Adon would definitely not be able to land on the surface of Kalos. They need to drive the spaceship that comes with the Spear of Adon and land on the surface of Kalos. Not long after, everyone also landed on the surface of Carlos' planet in a spaceship. The treasure hiding place of the outlaw pirates is right ahead. After taking a look at the coordinates, Chu Zhong also determined the location of the treasure. Looking in the direction Chu Zhong pointed, they saw an abandoned observation station also appearing in their field of vision. Some of these observatories were built by the Solar Federation. However, after the Solar Federation later determined that Kalos was a worthless planet, all personnel at the observatory were evacuated. In the end, the abandoned observatory was left alone. After being exposed to the wind and sun, the observation station in front of us was already rusty. Chu Zhong and Yun Qinghan also walked straight towards the observation station. When they arrived at the observation station, they also checked the surroundings and found no trace of the remaining pirates. Yun Qinghan came to a huge container and took a look at the lock on the container. Boom! The next second, she took out her thermal pistol and shot the lock open. When the container is opened, what comes into view is a large amount of energy ore. These energy ores were originally transported by the Sun Federation caravan, but now they have been hijacked by the crazy pirate group. After going round and round, it is now in Chu Yang's hands again. Ding! A location where you can sign in has been detected, Carlos Star. This sign-in will take 24 hours. Do you want to sign in? Chu Zhong didn't expect that he would trigger the God-level sign-in system at this time. Sign in? Why not sign in? Make a decisive choice. Chu Zhong watched the progress bar begin to squirm and thought to himself. Fortunately, this time the sign-in only takes 24 hours. If like Blue Star, it takes a year to sign in, it will be too much for me. Chu Zhong, we sent it. I just took inventory, and there are about 10,000 units of energy ore here alone. If you put these energy ores on the market, you can make at least 5 million in profit. Yun Qinghan looked excited. She didn't expect these crazy pirate groups to be so rich. This is only the value of energy ore. There are many other goods in other containers. However, the types of these goods were too complex, and even Yun Qinghan could not calculate their value. Chu Zhong glanced at Yun Qinghan, who was extremely excited, and poured cold water on her without mercy. Correct me, it wasn't us who posted it, it was me who posted it. Ha, superficial. I still look down on this small amount of money. At this moment, while the two were still bickering, on the hill in the distance, a group of orcs in pirate costumes were observing them with binoculars. These half-orcs are the remnants of the crazy pirate group. Some time ago, the orc captain was unable to contact the flagship of the mad pirates. So, he also felt something was wrong. Their leader was probably caught by those guys from the Sun Federation. Just in case, they also established a small camp around the observation station to hide themselves. If the Sun Federation's troops come to Kalos, they will be sure that the majority of the troops have been killed by the Sun Federation. In this case, they will run away immediately. But they never expected that the Sun Federation did not come, but a young boy and a young girl came over. Captain, what should we do next? Since these two guys were able to find this place, they must have obtained the boss's astrolabe, otherwise they would not have been able to find this place so accurately. Should we arrest these two guys and interrogate the boss? If there are only two people, the number of people on our side can easily crush them. At this time, the half-orc captain was also tangled in his heart. He can't contact the werewolf leader now, and he still doesn't know what happened to the werewolf leader. If the werewolf leader dies, there is nothing wrong with escaping with the treasure. But if the werewolf leader is still alive and escapes with the treasure, once he is discovered, his subordinates will definitely rebel. The best way now is to catch these two guys, Chu Zhong and Yun Qinghan. Since they were able to come here, they must have obtained the astrolabe of the werewolf leader. They must know the whereabouts of the werewolf leader. After thinking for a moment, the half-orc captain also picked up the electric energy rifle under him. Catch these two guys first. Since these two guys can find this place, they must also know the whereabouts of the boss. It's just two people. We have hundreds of people here. It's more than enough to deal with them. Thinking of this, the half-orc captain also stood up first. But at this moment, the half-orc captain found that there was silence around him, and none of his men responded to him. The half-orc captain frowned. You guys. The next second, a black barrel was pressed against his head. You. Who are you? The half-orc captain's face turned pale at this moment. Looking around, he found that all of his men had guns held to their heads. The interstellar pirate, who was originally so fierce, was now like a quail, crawling on the ground and trembling. The leading pilot warrior did not answer the orc's question. Through the communication system, pilot also reported the situation here to Chu Zhang. Reporting to the captain, we found a group of pirates hiding 1,000 meters away from the observation station. Good, bring these guys back. In the observation station, Chu Zhang also showed a happy smile. Ever since he arrived at this observation station, he had felt something was wrong. There are many containers in this observation station, but no one is guarding such a huge amount of goods. Moreover, there were obvious traces of people living in the observatory, but no other living utensils were found. There are various signs that someone was originally stationed here. But later, for some reason, the observation station was evacuated. Although these energy ores in the observatory are valuable, the most precious things must have been taken away by those guys. Thinking of this, Chu Zhang also came up with this method. He deliberately asked the pilots to disperse and explore the surroundings, creating the illusion that only he and Yun Qinghan were here. As expected, these pirates are very cunning. After losing contact with the fleet, the observation station was immediately withdrawn and a temporary small camp was established nearby to observe the situation of the observation station. However, no matter how cautious they are, in front of the powerful pilot, he is completely vulnerable. The pilot's equipment allows him to become temporarily invisible, allowing him to lurk among these pirates and subdue them. For them, it is just a simple matter. Thump. The orc captain was thrown directly in front of Chu Zhang. The disgraced orc captain looked up at Chu Zhang, feeling horrified in his heart. Who is this blue star human being? He actually has such an elite unit under his command. He has also seen the troops of the Federation of the Sun, although those soldiers are strong. But compared to the pilot in front of me, there is a huge difference. The aura emanating from these pilots made the orc captain feel suffocated. Chu Zhang glanced at the half-orc captain and was convinced that this guy had a certain relationship with the mad pirates. Next, I hope you can answer the questions I ask truthfully. After saying that, Chu Zhang took out his firearm. With a click, the bullet was loaded. The half-orc captain also felt a thump in his heart. Uncle, just ask, I will answer truthfully. In order to survive, the orc captain threw all the dignity and moral integrity behind him. And Chu Zhang didn't talk nonsense and got straight to the point. How many people are there in your pirate group now? Your Majesty, we are the only one with 105 people stationed on the Kalos planet. The others have followed the large army. We are just a left-behind force. Hearing this answer, Chu Zhang understood. I saw him waving his hand, and seeing Chu Zhang waving his hand, the orc captain suddenly had an ominous premonition. Boom, boom, boom. Following a series of gunshots, bodies fell to the ground one after another. Of the last 105 garrison troops, the orc captain is the only one left. The orc captain's face was pale, and cold sweat broke out from his back. Chu Zhang said very calmly, I can tell you responsibly that your entire army has been wiped out. And now, you are the only one left in the entire group of crazy pirates. Then next, tell me, where is the most valuable thing about this observatory? Don't tell me, these energy ores and goods are your most precious things. As a pirate organization from the outside world, I don't believe you would put these things in the observation station. If only these energy ores and goods. For the crazy pirates, they are simply not worth mentioning. They can definitely take this kind of thing with them. However, the leader of the crazy pirates secretly hid something on the planet Kalos. And we also arranged for a garrison to stay behind. Therefore, under the cover of these energy ores, there must be other more important things. This thing is so important that the leader of the crazy pirate group dare not put it on him casually. Thinking of this, Chu Zhang also set his sights on the orc captain opposite. The orc captain was also frightened by Chu Yang's methods. I'll recruit them all. That thing is on me. Please, don't kill me. Hearing these words, Chu Zhang also winked. A pilot next to him also began to search for the orc captain. Sure enough, not long after, a black box was also found. Chu Zhang took the box and opened it, only to see a crystal fragment lying inside. Is this the most precious thing you said? Seeing that Chu Yang's face was a little unhappy, the orc captain quickly began to explain. Sir, please don't underestimate this crystal shard. It is because of this crystal shard that our gangster pirate group was hunted down to the solar system. This crystal fragment is actually a guiding sign. As long as you inject energy into it, it can guide you in a direction. And this crystal fragment is rumored to be a relic of the old human empire. A relic of the old human empire. This was the first time Chu Zhang heard the term, old human empire. He looked at Yun Qinghan, who was aside, and Yun Qinghan frowned slightly. I heard my father say something about the old human empire. It is said that humans were prosperous tens of millions of years ago. At that time, humans, under the leadership of the emperor, conquered the entire galaxy. But for unknown reasons later on, the old human empire quickly perished and eventually disappeared into the endless sea of stars. The reason why our blue star's technology is developing rapidly is because of the technology left behind by the old human empire. After listening to Yun Qinghan's explanation, Chu Zhang also looked at the crystal fragments in the black box in front of him. This small crystal fragment is actually a relic of the old human empire. The half-orc captain and Chu Zhang became interested and quickly added. I heard that the place where this crystal fragment ultimately guided was the place where the old human empire's Glory Queen class battleship fell. Glory Queen class battleship. Hearing this name, Chu Zhang also became interested. The orc captain opposite also said quickly. This Glory Queen class battleship is a genuine S-class starship. Besides us, there are many people who have obtained this crystal fragment. Crystal fragments will attract each other. Whoever gathers more crystal fragments will get more specific coordinates. Because of this, we are being hunted by others. After hearing these words, Chu Zhang was also shocked. This Glory Queen class battleship is actually an S-class starship. I didn't expect that this small crystal fragment actually contains such a huge amount of information. Chu Zhang collected the crystal fragments, and the other party also said that only by collecting more crystal fragments can more specific information be obtained. If you keep this crystal fragment yourself, you might encounter other crystal fragments. In this case, I might be able to obtain the specific coordinates of the Glory Queen class battleship in the end. That was an S-class battleship, so I had no reason not to be tempted. When the orc captain saw Chu Zhang putting away the crystal fragments, he quickly kowtowed and begged for mercy. Sir, I have already finished explaining everything I need to explain. I promise not to tell anything about what's going on here. Just treat me like a fart. The half-orc captain also begged. But at this moment, Chu Zhang showed a smile. When he saw Chu Yang's smile, the orc captain's face suddenly turned pale. Because he noticed a hint of coldness in Chu Yang's smile. Only a dead man keeps secrets. Boom. After a gunshot, the last member of the crazy pirate group was completely eliminated by Chu Zhang. In this way, Chu Zhang doesn't have to worry about anything. Load these energy ores onto the spaceship and transport them back to the Spear of Adun. After dealing with the last remaining pirates, Chu Zhang felt a lot more relaxed. At this time, Yun Qinghan also came to Chu Zhang. Chu Zhang, do you really plan to keep that crystal fragment with you? Although this crystal fragment is related to the news about the S-class battleship, the orc also said that the crystal fragments will attract each other. Even the outlaw pirates are being hunted down because of this crystal shard. Isn't it very dangerous for you to hold this crystal shard? Yun Qinghan's worries are not unreasonable. After all, the outlaw pirates fled the solar system as a result. If they hold this crystal shard, the holders of other crystal shards may come looking for them at any time. Facing Yun Qinghan's advice, Chu Zhang also patted her on the shoulder. Don't worry, I'm not comparable to those little minions in the crazy pirate group. If there are crystal holders who dare to come to the door, it will save me the trouble of looking for them. No matter what happens, I can destroy the crystal fragments directly and escape with the help of the Spear of Adun. Now that he has awakened and collected the crystal fragments, Chu Zhang must have made a series of plans. Looking at Chu Yang's confident eyes, Yun Qinghan also understood. Chu Zhang is different from himself, he is the owner of Blue Star's first S-class ship Soul. She had clearly seen the powerful combat power of the Spear of Adun before. Even if those crystal holders wanted to deal with Chu Zhang, it would probably take a lot of effort. No, why should I worry about this guy? Yun Qinghan shook his head to get rid of the chaotic thoughts in his mind. At this time, the Spear of Adun also sent out a large number of spaceships one after another. Many transport drones also transported materials from the observation station to the Spear of Adun. Chu Jong found an excuse to stay on the surface of Carlos' planet and continue to sign in. Finally, Chu Jong saw that the progress bar had reached the end. Ding, you signed in successfully, congratulations on getting 1000 Phoenix fighter jets. The sign-in reward this time is actually 1000 Phoenix fighter jets. The Phoenix fighter is an agile and extremely lethal spacecraft. Among all the Protoss aerial units, its flexibility is the most powerful. These 1000 Phoenix fighter planes can actually increase one's combat power. However, the sign-in rewards this time are obviously not as generous as the previous Blue Star sign-in rewards. After all, it took a year to sign in for Blue Star. After signing in, Chu Jong returned to the ship. After returning to the Spear of Adun, Chu Jong also went straight to the bridge. In the bridge, Yun Qinghan had been waiting for a long time. Next, we should go to the Vulcan Galaxy. When I arrive in the Vulcan Galaxy, my mission will be completed. Chu Jong has not forgotten that his most important task at the moment is to send Yun Qinghan to the Vulcan star system. Hearing these words, Yun Qinghan didn't speak. The space jump is ready. Setting the destination. Vulcan Galaxy, Artisan Star. Whoosh! The Spear of Adun turned into a stream of light and disappeared. But not long after the Spear of Adun left the Kalos star, the space around the Kalos star was also distorted. Immediately afterwards, an A-class battleship appeared around Kalos. Reporting to the Lord, we have detected the energy residue of crystal fragments on the surface of Carlos star. However, the crystal fragments are no longer on the surface of Carlos star. They seem to have been taken away by someone. Upon hearing these words, a strange creature wearing a black robe stretched out several green tentacles and looked very angry. If Chu Jong were here, he would definitely recognize him. The strange-looking creature in front of me is the famous Forest Spirit clan in the Star Sea. All creatures of the Forest Spirit tribe are composed of plants, so the Forest Spirit tribe generally lives in places with particularly lush plant communities. In front of me, this strange creature is a leader of the Forest Spirit clan. The crystal fragments in the hands of the crazy pirate group were originally his. Because it was hijacked by the crazy pirates during the transportation, the crystal fragments fell into the hands of the crazy pirates. In order to recover the fragments, it chased it directly from the outer domain to the solar system. As a result, they finally detected the location of the crystal fragments, but when they rushed over, they missed it. Keep chasing me. That crystal fragment is a treasure that I plan to dedicate to the Forest Spirit King. If we can't recover it within the stipulated time, the Forest Spirit King will never let us go. The Forest Spirit King is the supreme ruler of the Forest Spirit clan. If you offend him, you can imagine the consequences. Vulcan Galaxy, Craftsman Star. Craftsman Star is a famous existence in the areas around the solar system. The reason why it is called the Artisan Star is because there is a group of strange races called the Huonu tribe, living on it. This race possesses extremely superb ship forging technology, as well as ship repair technology. Many forces regard Artisan Star as a transit point. Ships can be maintained and upgraded here. Sometimes, there are even organizations that hire Huonu people to go to their territories to build starships. Over time, the planet where the Huonu tribe lived was also called the Craftsman Star. Whoosh! In the starry sky, a stream of light rushed past. The huge size of the Spear of Adun also appeared in the starry sky. The ships coming and going couldn't help but gasp after seeing the figure of the Spear of Adun. Hell, it's such a big starship. What type of ship is it? Even an aircraft carrier can only be said to be dwarfed by it. Whose big shot's ship is this? Among all the planet lords I know, no one should have such a huge starship. The Spear of Adun also drove directly into the starport of the Artisan Star. In order to better manufacture and repair starships, the Huonu tribe has transformed almost half of the territory on the planet into starports. Because of this, even the Spear of Adon can be parked in the starport of the Artisan Star. When the Spear of Adun was anchored in the starport, it also attracted the attention of many Huonu boatmen. They have never seen such a huge starship in their lives. Chu Jong also released the Fire Phoenix class battleship from the cabin. At this point, Chu Yang's mission has been completed. We're here. The mission your father gave me has been completed. Chu Zhong stepped off the ship and looked at the prosperous planet in front of him. Every interstellar voyager that sets out from the solar system will definitely stay on the Craftsman star for a period of time. On the Artisan star, most interplanetary voyagers will choose to recruit a few Honin ship engineers. Then customize some spare parts to prevent accidents during interstellar navigation. But Chu Zhong doesn't have to worry about this. There are many Protoss sleeping in the cabin of the Spear of Adun. Among these Protoss tribes, there are many Protoss technicians who are proficient in ship maintenance technicians. Those Huonu engineers may not know the Spear of Adun better than the Protoss technicians. And Yun Qinghan also walked out of the Fire Phoenix class battleship. When she saw Chu Zhong for the first time, she immediately spoke. After leaving the Vulcan galaxy, where do you plan to go? After Chu Zhong thought for a moment, he answered truthfully. I plan to go to the Whirlpool Galaxy. Doesn't the Whirlpool Galaxy have a Stargate? If you use the Stargate to travel to the outer realm, you should be able to save a lot of time. After all, Chu Yang's most important task now is to find Holy Terra. And Yun Qinghan was a little surprised when he heard that Chu Zhong was going to the outside world. Going to Outland. Although the Outland is full of opportunities, it is also full of infinite unknown dangers. Before you are strong enough, entering the outer realm is simply seeking death. Are you so anxious to go to the Outlands? The Star Sea races in the outer realm are not very good. I heard my father say that most of the Star Sea races in the outer realm are extremely arrogant. For a little resource, the two outer Star Sea races often fight fiercely. You don't have a stable fleet yet, so you should develop it in the inner domain first. Yun Qinghan also sincerely admonished Chu Zhong, but Chu Zhong just smiled and did not answer her. With the system at his side, it doesn't take much time for Chu Zhong to develop. Instead, he needs to find Holy Terra as quickly as possible. After all, Holy Terra is there, and if someone gets there first, he will suffer a huge loss. Ding, check-in location detected, Artisan Star. The time required for this check-in, 3 days. Would you like to sign in? The sign-in system is activated again. And this time, the time required to sign in has also increased to 3 days. Chu Zhong did not hesitate and chose to sign in directly. The progress bar reappeared, so Chu Zhong also looked at Yun Qinghan. Instead of worrying about me, you should worry about yourself. Next, don't you need to recruit some craftsmen from the Huonu tribe? Let's go. I'll go with you. If we two of you are together, we'll still have some time left. Yun Qinghan was slightly startled when he heard that Chu Zhong did not leave immediately. She thought Chu Zhong was going to leave immediately after sending her to the Craftsman Star. But now, not only did he not leave, he actually hired Huonu engineers for him. Thinking of this, Yun Qinghan felt a lot lighter. This guy Chu Zhong doesn't seem to be a ruthless guy. On the other side, the ships of the Forest Spirit tribe also arrived at the Vulcan Galaxy. After seeing the ships of the Forest Spirit tribe, the expressions of many Star Sea races also changed drastically. What's going on? If I'm not mistaken, this should be a ship of the Forest Spirit tribe. You read that right, the logo on the ship is the logo of the Forest Spirit tribe, but why are they here? Let's stay away from here quickly. These races from the outer domain always look down on our races from the inner domain. It will be troublesome if we are targeted by them. When the Forest Spirit tribe comes here, are they planning to take action against the Craftsman Star? For a time, many Star Sea races also chose to stay away from the ships of the Forest Spirit tribe. I saw streams of light appearing one after another in the starry sky. Hundreds of Forest Spirit ships also appeared in the starry sky. The flagship headed by the Forest Spirit tribe was the A-class Greenland-class battleship commanded by Blackwood and commanded by the Forest Spirit tribe. At this moment, Commander Kuroki was also staring closely at the information on the screen. The Forest Spirit crew member next to him also reported immediately. Report to Commander Blackwood. We have traced the signal of crystal fragments on this planet. According to our investigation, this planet is called Artisan Star, and it is controlled by a group of inner races called the Huonu tribe. Before the forest crew member could finish his report, Commander Blackwood directly interrupted him. I just need to know the whereabouts of the crystal shards. I have no interest in these untouchables from the inner realm. Send troops immediately to prepare to land on the surface. No matter what happens, you must ensure that the crystal shards arrive in my hands safe and sound. At the end of the sentence, Commander Blackwood's eyes flashed with a fierce light. If anyone dares to stop us, we will kill them without mercy. On this day, many landing ships appeared in the sky of Craftsman Star. And these landing ships gave the Huonu people of Craftsman Star almost no chance to react. These landing ships landed in the starport in an extremely violent manner. Immediately afterwards, the door of the landing module opened. A large number of forest soldiers holding energy guns also rushed out. The entire starport quickly fell into chaos after seeing so many armed forest soldiers. The forest captain also raised the microcomputer on his wrist. I saw a holographic map projected by the microcomputer, with a red dot marked on the map. This red dot is where the crystal fragment is. After determining the location of the crystal fragments, the forest captain also waved his hand, and many forest soldiers also moved towards the location where the signal was sent. Stop. Who are you? This is the territory of the Huonu tribe. No matter who you are, you should not enter with large amounts of armed forces. Before these soldiers could disperse, soldiers from the Huonu tribe also surrounded them. For a time, the soldiers on both sides were at war with each other. One of the Huonu tribe looked at the Forest Spirit tribe soldiers on the opposite side and whispered to their commander. Reporting to the commander, it seems that there is a Forest Spirit tribe on the other side. Forest Spirit clan. The leader of the Huonu tribe also frowned. Isn't the Forest Spirit tribe an outsider race? How come they came to their inner domain? The captain of the Forest Spirit opposite also looked at the Huonu soldiers in front of him with a look of disdain. When he saw the equipment on the Huonu soldiers, he couldn't help but sneer. With all the scraps of metal you have on your body, you dare to block the path of our Forest Spirit soldiers. I advise you to be more sensible and get out of the way quickly. You can't afford to delay our work. After hearing these words, the leader of the Huonu tribe also frowned. If possible, he would like to beat the opponent violently. But he also knew very well that if the two sides really conflicted, they would be the ones who suffered. The equipment on the Forest Spirit tribe's side is obviously much more advanced than theirs. If a fight really breaks out, their side will definitely suffer heavy losses. Therefore, even though his heart is filled with anger now, the leader of the Huonu tribe is suppressing the anger in his heart. Honorable Lord of the Forest Spirit tribe, if you need anything, just ask us. As Craftsman Star locals, we are definitely more familiar with the terrain. Unexpectedly, the forest captain opposite sneered. Who do you think you are? You pigs really take yourselves seriously. Get out of here, don't delay our work. After saying that, the forest captain walked straight towards the blockade. Many Huonu soldiers gritted their teeth, but still suppressed their anger and looked at their commander. The leader of the Huonu clan clenched his fists tightly and his teeth were almost broken. Even so, he still raised his hand. Put your guns down and let them pass. One of the Huonu soldiers was a little confused, but obey orders. The leader of the Huonu tribe looked at the landing ships landing in the starport. These landing ships were only a small part. In space, there is also a fleet of forest spirits watching eagerly. If things get too big here, it will put them into a passive state. Many Huonu soldiers were also extremely depressed, but they still followed the order and moved out of the way. Oh, it's really troublesome to communicate with these despicable races. Before leaving, the forest captain also left these words behind. On the streets, many forest soldiers were running rampant with guns in hand. The originally peaceful market fell into chaos due to the arrival of these forest soldiers. Not long after, Captain Forest also came to the largest ship parts market in Craftsman Star. After taking a look at the holographic map, the forest captain discovered that the signal of the crystal fragments was here. That's right here. Listen to my order and seal this place off. Anyone who tries to escape will be shot to death. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, gunfire rang out. One of the forest soldiers was holding a gun and looking at the corpse on the ground with an indifferent expression. When the surrounding Huonu people saw this scene, they turned pale with fright. One of the Huonu people screamed. Boom. There was another gunshot, and the screams suddenly stopped. Shut up, you untouchables. Search for me. You must find that thing for me. In the ship parts market, Chuzhong and Yun Qinghan are purchasing ship parts. At this time, they also heard gunshots outside. The first time he heard the gunfire, Chuzhong immediately became vigilant. What's the situation? This is the hinterland of the Huonu tribe, how could there be gunshots? Yun Qinghan's expression also changed, and she couldn't help but lean towards Chuzhong. Let me go and see what's going on. With that said, Chuzhong also looked towards the exit of the market. At this time, all the Xinghai races in the market began to panic. What happened? What happened at the exit? I don't know either. I only saw a large number of forest troops blocking the surrounding entrances and exits. The forest spirit tribe, why are they here? I don't know, they seem to be looking for something. I advise you to be more honest when you check later. Several people have been killed. As soon as these words came out, Chuzhong felt something bad. These forest spirit soldiers are not coming for him, are they? If there was anything about him that could attract them, it was probably the crystal fragment. Could it be that this crystal fragment was snatched from the hands of the forest spirit tribe soldiers by the crazy pirate group? Thinking of this, Chuzhong also narrowed his eyes slightly. Yun Qinghan, you should blend into the crowd first. I think these forest spirit soldiers are coming for me. If you continue to stay with me, your life may be in danger. What, are these forest spirit soldiers coming for Chuzhong? At this moment, Yun Qinghan seemed to suddenly think of something. Could it be that crystal fragment? Chuzhong also directly pushed Yun Qinghan away, and then headed straight towards the center of the market. At the entrance and exit, the forest captain also saw the signal on the holographic map beginning to move toward the center, and his eyes narrowed slightly. Sure enough, the guy with the crystal shard is inside. Guard the entrance and exit. No flying insect can be let in without my order. Everyone else, come in with me. Having said that, the forest captain also took out the energy pistol from his waist and ran straight towards the parts market. Get away. Many forest soldiers almost went on a rampage and rushed straight into the ship parts market. According to the holographic map, the crystal holder goes all the way up. At this moment, the floors above the second floor have already been cleared due to the commotion caused by the forest soldiers. Looking at the empty mall, the forest captain also opened the holographic map again. On the map, the location of the crystal fragments is also clearly visible. Seeing this, the forest captain also sneered. Despicable mouse, do you really think you can escape our eyes? Keep chasing him, all the entrances and exits have been blocked by us, he can't escape. After that, the forest captain also continued to pursue. Going all the way up, they finally arrived at the rooftop. The rooftop of the building where the ship parts mall was originally located has been blocked by staff. But at this time, Chuzhong violently broke open the rooftop door. After entering the rooftop, the forest soldiers followed closely behind. Looking at Chuzhong, the only living person on the rooftop, the forest captain also opened the holographic map again. In the end, the forest captain was also determined. The crystal fragment they are looking for is on Chuzhong. Run, why don't you run? Despicable mouse, please hand over the things that don't belong to you. Captain Senling raised the gun in his hand and aimed directly at Chuzhong. Faced with the aiming of numerous firearms, Chuzhong was also very calm. He slowly raised his hand, opened his palm, and the crystal fragments lay quietly in his palm. Seeing this scene, Captain Forest's eyes also lit up. Sure enough, the crystal fragment is on this blue star human. Human, hand over that crystal fragment. As long as you can give me this crystal fragment, maybe I can consider letting you live. Hearing this, Chuzhong smiled. Just looking at the attitudes of these forest spirits, he didn't think that they could easily let him go after getting the crystal fragments. What's more, Chuzhong didn't come to the rooftop for no reason. Chuzhong chuckled. Now, this is my home court. I should be the one telling you that if you leave now, I can spare your life. As soon as these words came out, many forest soldiers laughed. Are you kidding me? Could it be that the human opposite is crazy? He was just one person, and he didn't even have any equipment. But he was indeed facing a well-equipped forest team. Chuzhong smiled faintly and clapped his hands. Coordinate information has been received. Deploying Crystal Tower. The next second, a powerful energy wave rose around him. Before many forest spirits could react, a crystal tower appeared next to Chu Zhang. Seeing the sudden appearance of the crystal tower, the forest spirits also looked shocked. What's the situation? Why did this crystal tower suddenly appear here? Human, what the hell are you doing? The forest spirit captain looked solemn. This kind of space jumping technique was difficult for even the forest spirit clan to achieve. But Chu Zhang could easily bend a crystal tower to his side. The fun is yet to come. At this moment, a large number of dormant cabins in the cabin of the Spear of Adun were activated. In the dormant cabin, one fanatic after another opened his eyes. The fanatic has been activated. Locking the crystal tower coordinates. Preparing for space jump transmission. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. These newly awakened fanatics were not even familiar with their surroundings, and were teleported to where Chu Zhang was in the next second. The forest soldiers on the opposite side watched helplessly as Chu Yang's surroundings went from being empty to being filled with Protoss fanatics. How could this human being master such exquisite space jumping technology? Such a precise and rapid space jump technology, even other forest spirit tribes cannot achieve it. Facing the shocked forest captain, Chu Zhang sneered. There are still many things you don't know. The next second, Chu Zhang waved his hand. The fanatics immediately attacked many forest soldiers like arrows from the bowstring. Brush. Almost instantly, the fanatic came to a forest soldier. As a bright light flashed across the body of the forest soldier, the psychic light blade directly split the forest soldier in half. The forest soldier next to him stared wide-eyed and couldn't believe his eyes. What a speed! Boom! Just then, one of the Sylvan soldiers opened fire on one of the zealots. The fanatic stood there, then tilted his head slightly, and the bullet passed through his face. Seeing this scene, the forest soldier who fired the gun widened his eyes. Brush. The next second, the forest soldier was also directly killed. In almost less than a minute, most of the hundreds of forest soldiers brought by the forest captain had been lost. These Protoss fanatics possess extremely powerful melee capabilities. Moreover, their psychic abilities allow them to predict the future to a certain extent. Those firearms and bullets cannot harm the fanatics at all. Chu Zhang looked at the fanatics in front of him and thought to himself. Sure enough, the support capabilities of the Spear of Adun are unmatched by any starship. Even if he is not on the starship, the Spear of Adun can teleport the Protoss warriors over and protect his own safety in time. The forest captain changed his previous arrogance and quickly used his communication equipment. Where are the people downstairs? Come and support me now. I repeat, I need support here. But no matter how much the forest captain shouted, there was only a burst of noise in the communication channel. When a fanatic came to him, the forest captain suddenly turned pale. At this time, the voice finally came from the communication channel. Report to the captain. We have been attacked. What kind of monsters are these people? I can't see him. Wait, he's on the ceiling. Immediately afterwards, a series of screams came from the communication channel. Chu Zhang also heard the screams on the opposite communication channel, and the corners of his mouth raised slightly. It looks like my additional support has arrived. Additional support. At this moment, in the shopping mall downstairs, several pilots were flying over the walls, turning into life-seeking ghosts, constantly harvesting the lives of forest soldiers. These forest soldiers gathered together, with fear in their eyes. What kind of monsters are these guys in front of me? Their firearms were simply unable to deal with these monsters flying over walls and walls. Moreover, these monsters also have the ability to become invisible and disappear. These guys are moving too fast, we can't aim at all. Where did these guys come from? Their combat power and equipment are far superior to ours. Watch your back. As soon as he finished speaking, a pilot fell from the ceiling and stood behind a forest soldier. The forest soldier also reacted quickly and directly took out an alloy dagger and slashed it behind him. But the next second, his arm went straight through the body of the pilot. Not good. This is an illusion. Boom. A gunshot rang out, and a bullet penetrated directly through the head of the forest soldier. The pilot's figure slowly appeared from his side. Seeing this scene, the other forest soldiers' eyes widened, as if they had seen a ghost. You. Who are you? One of the forest soldiers' voice was full of fear. It was more like he knew where these ghost-like soldiers came from. At this moment, a pilot fell beside him, and a kinetic energy pistol was aimed at his head. You can save this problem and go to hell. If you want to blame you for provoking the people you shouldn't have provoked. Boom. Gunshots rang out, and the last forest soldier fell down. In the entire ship parts mall, apart from the forest soldiers who fell on the ground, there were only many pilots standing there. The surrounding people had already taken advantage of the chaos to escape. At this time, the Huonu tribe's escort team also rushed over quickly. The leader of the Huonu tribe looked at the civilians of the Huonu tribe who had been killed by the forest soldiers at the entrance. In an instant, anger burst out like a volcano erupting. These beasts! I shouldn't have let them in the first place. He never expected that these forest soldiers would treat their Huonu people like this. The surrounding Huonu warriors gritted their teeth when they saw the dead civilians on the ground. Sir, we can't let these forest soldiers do whatever they want. Yes, this is the territory of our Huonu tribe, but they are massacring civilians in our territory. Sir, the reason why we joined the escort is to protect civilians. If we can't protect civilians, what's the use of the guns in our hands? We are not afraid of death, but we are more afraid that we will not be able to fulfill our duty to protect the people. The leader of the Huonu tribe clenched his fists and his eyes were filled with anger. He originally wanted to settle the matter and minimize the loss. Who knew that these Forest Spirit clan guys didn't take them seriously at all? We can no longer sit still and wait for death, we must defend our territory. Having said that, the leader of the Huonu tribe immediately led his team into the mall. However, when they arrived at the mall, they couldn't help but be shocked by the sight in front of them. On the first floor of the mall, a large number of forest soldiers fell to the ground. There was still a strong smell of blood in the air. It was obvious that a great battle had just occurred here. The result of this battle was naturally the complete destruction of the Forest Spirit tribe. Many pilots looked at the Huonu warriors who appeared in front of them. Their eyes were indifferent, but the guns in their hands were ready to fight at all times. Who are you? Looking at the fallen forest soldiers on the ground, the leader of the Huonu tribe couldn't help but feel horrified. You know, these forest spirit soldiers are well equipped and well trained. Even if their Huonu warriors fight against these soldiers, they will definitely be injured. However, looking at it now, the corpses lying on the ground are none other than the soldiers of the Forest Spirit tribe. In other words, the mysterious force in front of them wiped out the entire Forest Spirit clan force without even a single casualty. Such a powerful fighting power made the leaders of the Huonu tribe nervous. Everyone, don't be nervous, these are all my subordinates. At this moment, Chu Yang's voice also attracted the attention of the Huonu warriors. The Huonu chief also immediately focused his attention on Chu Zhong. However, when he saw many fanatics behind Chu Zhong, for a moment, his hand holding the gun was trembling. One of the fanatics seemed to feel the gaze of the Huonu chief, and then looked over. The two looked at each other, and the leader of the Huonu clan suddenly felt that he was being suppressed. The noble and powerful aura of the fanatic made him feel suffocated. Strong. Each of the fanatics behind that human being is an elite among the elite. The aura on his body gave people a sense of oppression just by standing there. Chu Zhong walked straight towards the leader of the Huonu tribe opposite. On his left, well-equipped and well-trained pilots were waiting with guns in hand. On his right, the fanatics looked coldly, like ruthless hunters, standing there giving people a strong sense of oppression. Who is this human being? He has such an elite force under his command. Could it be that he is also a big shot from the outside world? When Chu Zhong came to the Huonu chief, he also patted him on the shoulder. Did you see these civilians lying on the ground? This is the result of your inaction. As the escort of the Huonu tribe, you are unable to protect your own people. In the end, you still need me to take action. After hearing these words, many Huonu warriors also lowered their heads. Chu Zhong was right. As warriors of the Huonu tribe, they not only failed to protect the people, but instead let these Forest Spirit tribe soldiers go when they were at the starport. That's why these innocent people are treated like this. The leader of the Huonu tribe then said firmly, I did not handle this matter properly. Thank you very much for saving our people of the Huonu tribe. It's too early to be polite. These Forest Spirit soldiers have died, but their large forces are still entrenched in space. Guess what their fleet would do if they knew that their outposts were completely destroyed. As soon as these words came out, the leader of the Huonu tribe suddenly understood. He knows very well that with the current strength of the Huonu tribe, fighting against the forest spirit tribe is simply an egg against a stone. But as long as this forest fleet disappears into the sea of stars. So, no matter what great abilities the forest spirit tribe has, it is impossible to shift the blame to the Huonu tribe. Thinking of this, a strong murderous intention flashed in the eyes of the leader of the Huonu tribe. It's time for these arrogant guys from the forest spirit tribe to make them pay the price. And Chu Zhong also showed a smile. He has no intention of letting go of these forest spirit tribes. Since he has cut off the grass, he must eradicate the roots. But with the power of the spear of Adon, it is still somewhat difficult to completely eradicate the enemy. However, if these Huonu fleets are added, this matter will be much easier. In space, Commander Blackwood frowned. A long time has passed since the ground troops went to the surface of Artisan Star. I don't know if they have found the whereabouts of the crystal fragments. Thinking of this, Commander Blackwood also felt a little annoyed. He finally got the crystal fragment, but it was intercepted by a mere interstellar pirate. For this reason, he also needs to go to a remote place like the inner domain to find the whereabouts of the crystal fragments. No news yet from the ground troops. At this time, Commander Blackwood was already a little impatient. If he hadn't been afraid that the crystal fragments were too fragile, he would have launched an orbital bombardment of the planet in front of him. The surrounding forest crew members were also cautious when they heard Commander Blackwood's tone, for fear of angering the commander. It can be seen that Commander Kuroki is not very kind to his subordinates. At this time, one of the forest spirit crew members also suddenly detected a large number of ship signals. On the radar, a large number of red dots appeared. These red dots represent that a large number of ships are approaching them. Report to Commander. We have detected a large number of ship signals. There is an unidentified fleet approaching us. Looking at the direction they are coming from, we guess they are the Huonu tribe's fleet. The Huonu tribe's fleet. Hearing this, Commander Blackwood smiled instead of getting angry. In his eyes, these Huonu fleets are just a bunch of clowns. A group of lower civilizations living in the inner realm dare to confront them. Hey, can't those guys sit still? Becoming my enemy will lead to death. Enable global notification. If those Huonu fleets dare to advance again, they will all be treated as war. Commander Haimu is also extremely domineering. He looks down on these Huonu fleets at all. In his eyes, these Huonu tribe's starships are inferior to their forest spirit tribe's ships in terms of configuration and manufacturing skills. If there really was a fight, their fleet would be enough to crush these Huonu fleets. Therefore, Commander Blackwood has such confidence. The Huonu tribe on the opposite side, please pay attention if your fleet continues to move forward. We will regard it as your provocation against the forest spirit tribe, and we will launch a counterattack. I hope you won't attack the stone with eggs. Your fleet has no chance of winning against us. Here, the Huonu commander also received a warning from the forest spirit fleet. After hearing this warning, the Huonu commander suddenly became furious. What's the situation? Obviously this is the territory of their Huonu tribe. But the tone of these forest spirit tribes is as if they have stepped into the territory of the forest spirit tribe. Such an anti-customer attitude made everyone in the Huonu tribe feel angry. The commander of the Huonu tribe did not respond to the forest spirit tribe's warning. This time he dispatched the fleet with the purpose of annihilating the entire fleet of the forest spirit tribe. Using the sector array, this operation must not allow any living forest spirit to leave the Vulcan galaxy. Clear. Many Huonu warriors also answered loudly. They have long been unhappy with these forest spirit tribes. Whether it is for their own homeland or to vent their inner dissatisfaction, the Huonu warriors are already very energetic at this moment. Forest Spirit did not receive any response regarding the Huonu fleet, and frowned. Report to Commander Blackwood. The other party did not respond to us. Haha, a bunch of pigs really take themselves seriously. Commander Haimu sneered, since these guys from the Huonu tribe are overestimating their own abilities. I don't mind letting them know what firepower strikes from advanced civilizations mean. Boom. Suddenly, a brilliant spark lit up in the endless starry sky. Commander Kuroki immediately sat up. What happened? You opened fire before I gave the order. It wasn't us, it was the opposite side, the Huonu fleet on the opposite side that opened fire. What did those Huonu people eat that made them so bold that they actually dared to open fire and declare war on them? Rumble. For a time, a large number of Huonu ships burst out with astonishing firepower. The dense artillery fire attacked the forest spirit tribe's fleet like a torrential rain. Hit me hard. Don't save ammunition, just hit me hard. The Huonu commander also shouted in the communication channel. And all the Huonu warriors seemed to want to vent their inner depression. A large number of batteries fired ammunition one after another. One round of bombardment is over. The Huonu commander secretly thought, if they attack first, they can knock out a few of the opponent's starships. However, when the flames dissipated, the Huonu commander couldn't help but widen his eyes. After the round of bombardment, none of the forest spirit ships on the opposite side were damaged. How can it be? In the forest flagship, Commander Blackwood laughed to the sky, as if he was laughing at the opponent's naivety. How could the artillery of a mere inferior civilization cause damage to the ships of their forest spirit tribe? Do these guys really think they can be compared with us, the forest spirit tribe? All ships are preparing to counterattack. Let these ants see what the firepower of advanced civilization is. Following Commander Blackwood's order, the main guns of many forest starships glowed with a dark green light. When he saw these main guns exuding a faint green light, the Huonu commander suddenly screamed that something was not good. Everyone is here, raise the ship's shield immediately. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Before he finished speaking, several laser cannons pierced into the Huonu tribe's fleet like sharp swords. Almost instantly, the Huonu tribe's starship shield was shattered by the laser cannon. Immediately afterwards, the dark green laser cannon penetrated directly through the entire starship. Hiss. The Huonu commander suddenly turned pale. Is this the difference between lower civilization and higher civilization? At this moment, Chu Zhong stood on the surface of the Craftsman star and looked at the sky. A faint green laser could be vaguely seen, destroying a starship of the Huonu tribe. It seems that it is still difficult for these Huo slave fleets to fight against the forest fleet. Seeing this, Chu Zhong also raised his wrist. The microcomputer on the wrist is also connected to the control system of the Spear of Adun. Activating the remote control system. The Spear of Adun power system has been activated. The Phoenix fighter is ready to take off at any time. At this time, Chu Yang's Spear of Adun needs to come into play. In the starport, the huge Spear of Adun also rose into the sky. The huge body rushed straight towards the endless starry sky. Boom! It rose with a dazzling firelight. Another starship of the Huonu tribe fell. At this time, the commander of the Huonu clan looked livid. He originally thought that no matter how big the gap between the starships of the Huonu tribe and the starships of the forest spirit tribe was, they would not be much worse. The number of starships on the Huonu tribe's side far exceeds the number of starships on the forest spirit tribe's side. He thought that with their numerical advantage, they would be enough to repel these forest starships. But in fact, what he thought was too simple. The starships of the forest spirit tribe are extremely powerful, both in terms of weapon power and energy shield defense. Facing such a forest starship, they have no chance of winning. For a moment, a strong despair surrounded the Huonu tribe commander. At this moment, a voice also sounded in the communication channel. Don't panic, everyone, our support will be here soon. As soon as these words came out, the Huonu tribe commander also looked confused. Support. All the starships of their Huonu tribe are here, where is the support? Before the Huonu commander could react, their radar showed that a starship was approaching. What's the situation? There is actually a starship approaching them at this time. Isn't this looking for death? However, when the Huonu commander saw the size of the starship, he couldn't help but gasp. Such a huge body of the Spear of Adon appeared in his field of vision, and he was shocked. He has never seen such a huge starship. What kind of starship is this? Wrong. The paint on this starship is not the paint on their Huonu fleet. So who owns this starship? At this moment, the words that had just been transmitted from the Huonu clan headquarters on the ground rang in his mind. Could this starship be their support? Are you kidding me? This is an interstellar war. How can a starship, no matter how huge it is, affect the direction of a war? What's more, if such a huge figure suddenly appears on the battlefield, wouldn't it easily become the target of enemy fire? And the forest fleet on the opposite side also discovered the existence of the Spear of Adun. Report to the commander. An unknown starship was found ahead. I've already seen it. Commander Blackwood narrowed his eyes slightly. The Spear of Adun was so huge that even if Commander Blackwood wanted to, it would be difficult not to notice it. What is going on with this starship? Even the Star Destroyer looked extremely small compared to the starships in front of me. Commander Blackwood glanced at the paint on the Spear of Adun and couldn't help but frown. It's not a starship from the Huonu tribe. Could it be the support from the Huonu tribe? That's not right. This is an interstellar war, not a child's play. No matter how stupid those guys from the Huonu tribe are, they can't expect a starship to change the tilt of the war scale. But then, Commander Kuroki discovered that he was completely wrong. Chu Zhong on the ground of Artisan Star also learned the news on the battlefield in real time through the remote control system of the Spear of Adun. Detecting enemy shield. Detection successful. The enemy's shield is a T3 energy shield. T3 level energy shield. Thanks to the forest spirits from the outer realm, the energy shields used by the starships have all reached the T3 level. No wonder the Huonu clan's attack couldn't penetrate the enemy's energy shield. Most of the weapons and energy shields on the Huonu tribe are T1 level. There is a 2-level difference between the two, so naturally they cannot compete with them. But for Chu Zhong, there is no difference at all between T3 level energy shield and T1 level energy shield. No matter what level of energy shield it is, it can't resist the fire attack of the Spear of Adon. Activate the fire system of the Spear of Adun. Aim at those forest starships and hit me hard. Chu Zhong was also unceremonious and directly chose the full fire mode. The lion still needs all his strength to fight the rabbit, not to mention facing these forest fleets, he must not let anyone go. Once someone goes back to report the news, both the Huonu tribe and Chu Zhong will face the pursuit of the entire forest spirit tribe. Besides, you can just go directly to the Huonu tribesmen to reimburse your ammunition for loss. Rounding it all off, not only can I get rid of the forest pursuers, but I can also make a lot of money. Starting full fire mode. Multiple hostile targets have been locked. Rumble. In the extremely shocked eyes of both fleets, the Spear of Adun showed extremely powerful firepower. The cannons all over the sky attacked the forest starship on the opposite side like a torrential rain. The next second, endless flames instantly engulfed the forest starship. The flames dissipated and something shocking happened. A large number of forest starships were immediately turned into a pile of scrap metal under the bombardment of the Spear of Adun. The remaining forest starships were not much better. All their energy shields were shattered by the powerful firepower of the Spear of Adun. Once the energy shield is broken, it will take a period of time to recharge. During this period, the forest starship can only rely on its own ship armor to resist damage. What are you waiting for? The energy shield on the opposite side is gone. Isn't now a good time to attack? Chu Yang's voice also sounded in the Huonu tribe's communication channel. Hearing this voice, the Huonu commander also reacted quickly. He also didn't expect that the firepower of Chu Yang's starship would be so powerful. The firepower of just one starship directly severely damaged the opposing forest fleet. Seizing this opportunity, a large number of Huonu starships also launched an attack. Boom! Another forest starship exploded. Without the energy shield, the defense power of the forest starship is also greatly reduced. Commander Haimu's face turned pale. What was the origin of the starship opposite? Just one round of bombardment severely damaged their fleet defense. What on earth is this starship about? We can't continue to let it attack. Pass my order and prepare to use split missiles. All ships will focus on the largest starship. Commander Haimu knew very well that those Huonu fleets were just a bunch of rabble. The only real threat to them was the huge starship that suddenly appeared. Split missiles are a powerful weapon unique to their forest spirit tribe. Quantity is limited. Therefore, Commander Blackwood did not want to use this killer weapon lightly unless absolutely necessary. But now, facing Chu Yang's Spear of Adun, he had to use split missiles to attack. Receive. All forest starships were quickly mobilized, and splitting missiles were loaded into the artillery. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.